Being that it's known as your third marriage, is there anything that you learned from past relationships that you take now? Is like, I'm going to do this right. I'm going to do this better. This is going to last, forever and ever and ever.
Well, I think you enter into everything wanting everything to last forever, and you learn from whatever relationship you're in. Just because you put a ring on it, no pun intended.
Single ladies.
Just because you put a ring on it doesn't change. You shouldn't change your intentions and what you learn in a relationship. There could be somebody who I know a couple of people who've had like 3-4 year relationships, that have basically last longer than my marriages, and I've considered them, less educated about certain things than I have, but it's not about me passing the buck saying, oh, well, I know a little bit more than you because I'm on my third and you're on your first or whatever it is. And I'm very complex. I'm a very complex individual. It's just about between two people what you can take on, and being true to yourself about what you can handle. And I tell people all the time, be okay, especially as a woman, be okay with saying no when a guy pulls this ring out. Just be okay with it. Say, you know what? I don't know if I can handle you. Because in the beginning, it's like, oh, well, cool, y'all, your little girlfriends. It's cool, it's fun, it's all games. And then next thing you know, then the insecurity steps in.
$20 million in a car. Girl, tie your hair up if you want to be a star. 30 million people want a shot. How much would it take for you to spread those legs apart?
I did not come to play.
Oh, I'm the gatekeeper. Spread your legs, open up. You could be famous. If you come up anywhere else, I'll erase you. Drink up, bitch, we got champagne by the cases. Don't you know, we are the gatekeepers. Spread your legs, open up, you could be famous. You know we're holding the dreams that you're chasing. You know you're supposed to get drunk and get naked. $20 million in a car. Girl, tie your hair up if you wanna be a star. People want a shot. How much would it take for you to spread those legs apart? Oh, I'm the gatekeeper. Spread your legs, open up. You could be famous. Wait till 5 years down the road and you're failing. Keep fucking these regular dudes that are nameless. Don't you know that we are the gatekeepers? Spread your legs, open up. You could be famous. Girl on your knees, don't you know what your place is? Got gold on my dick, girl, don't you wanna taste?
I'm sorry if I seem uninterested, or I'm not listening, or I'm indifferent. Truly, I ain't got no business here, but since my friends are here, I just came to kick it. But really, I would rather be at home all by myself, not in this room with people who don't even care about my well-being. I don't dance, don't ask, I don't need a boyfriend, so you can't go back. Please enjoy your party, I'll be here. Somewhere in the corner, under clouds of marijuana, with this boy who's hollering I can hardly hear. Over this music I don't listen to, and I don't wanna get with you, so tell my friends that I'll be over here. Oh, here. Oh, here. Oh, I ask myself, what am I doing here?
What it do, y'all? What it do? What it do? Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I'm your host with the motherfucking most this evening. Chill motherfucking Murray in the spot. Excuse me, live from the spot podcast. Shout out to everybody tuning in or not tuning in. You know how we do and how we rock. Let me make sure my mic is just right and adjusted correctly. Make sure y'all hear me out there. All right. So, First of all, I want to address the post about the Louisiana video they got taken down. The fight still continues with that. Next Thursday, they can't shut me up. So next Thursday, we are going to do a Save Louisiana-thon, if you will. Going to have as many people as we can call in, share their cash apps, fuck mine, and share their stories with what's going on in Louisiana. That's first and foremost. We are not just going to lay down just because they feel that we spoke some truth. And particularly, it was about a certain somebody I noticed. So I'm not going to say his name again. But, Billy, I'm on to you. Okay? I'll just say that. I'm on to you, Billy. Just for you doing that, I'm on to you. I got something for your ass. Just for that. Just for that. But, this evening, we are here to talk about this gentleman up here. And it took me a second to, of course, number one, I wanted to take a couple of days before I just got back on the pod, because I wanted to be a little bit respectful of YouTube after they gave me the warning with the Louisiana shit. Number two, I wanted to actually look at Dreams with a third eye, because it was some things, number one, that was sticking out to me that some people didn't catch. But it was also, like I said, a lot of things in there that was so detailed and graphic. Like, shout out to Mims. I was watching his video on it. And I had to take it with a grain of salt with everything that was being said by this woman, because I'm like, I've heard this before. I've heard this so many times before. So I'm like, this is what Jaguar Wright was saying. All these women, especially the foreign women that couldn't say nothing. All the foreign women that couldn't say nothing are now coming out and speaking. All those video vixens and models and women that, was promised a chance at record deals and whatnot, they can speak out. We're going to hear from them. I guarantee you, this young lady ain't the only one of Dreams. And there's going to be a couple other people. We're going to get to one of them people tonight. Besides him. But since we are on the topic of the Dream, before we get into his lawsuit and read his full lawsuit tonight and break it down, I want to get into the psyche of the Dream real quick, so we can understand some things here. As we are reading this, of course, we need to actually have some type of information and background on this gentleman, and I had found the perfect video to do such for you guys.
Terrius Nash, better known as The Dream, is the man behind so many hits, including Rockin' That and Falsetto. He's also one of the industry's most sought-after writers and has written tracks for everyone, including Beyoncé and Justin Bieber. He may be a pro at writing romantic love songs, but his real-life romances have been anything but perfect. Here's the truth about The Dream's dating history. His first high-profile relationship began in 2003 when he met R&B singer Nivea. After less than a year of dating, they got married. Nivea told BET that her label found it difficult to promote her as a married woman in the industry, so their marriage caused some strain on her career. In 2005, they welcomed their daughter, and in 2006, she gave birth to twins. Their marriage fell apart soon after. In December 2007, Nivea filed for separation. In a statement published by thegrapejuice.net,
Did I hear that right? That was about a year. About a year. They got married later. 2005, 2006, they got married. Right? In 2007, we started hearing the problems.
She called the separation a mutual decision. She added, "His happiness is all I want, for I could never repay him for what he has endured by being my friend, partner, and husband." Around that same time, a gossip blog reported the Dream had been spending a lot of time with Canadian model Chris Jacobs, who had also appeared in his falsetto music video. Even though Nivea was the one to file for separation, the Dream made the decision to file for divorce. After their divorce was finalized, he told radio host Angela Yee that at some point during their marriage, things changed. As his popularity grew, he admitted he became bitter that his wife's career wasn't matching his status. He also said when they weren't able to have fun anymore as a couple, he decided it was time to end things. He did admit that he and Nivea were very much in love at one time, and he didn't have any regrets about how things turned out. However, he said that his upbringing may have contributed to the demise of his marriage. He was raised by his mom up until she passed away when he was 15. With no father to take care of him, the Dream was raised by his grandfather. He told Angela Yee that if he had both of his parents around, he would have received better guidance and probably wouldn't have rushed into getting married in the first place.
Cut the cap. Cut the cap. Cut the cap. Nigga, there's plenty of us niggas with no guidance, with no parents like that. They can tell you, or I should say, they didn't grow up with parents like that. They'll tell you otherwise. They ain't got shit to do with you having your commitment issues. Let me just say that. How dare you?
Their divorce was finalized in 2008. And by that time, his career was kicking off with the success of his debut album, Love Hate. He headed back to the studio and worked on his highly anticipated follow-up album, Love vs. Money, which was released in 2009. That same year, he had a new woman in his life. While looking for someone to sing and appear in the music video for the Rockin' That remix, he had a few different singers in mind, including Christina Milian. The Dream told Angela Yee he decided to go with the underdog, and Christina was chosen to lend her vocals to the track. At the time of his interview with Angela Yee, the Dream insisted that things were strictly business between him and Christina. But within a few months of meeting, she was rocking a huge engagement ring at music executive Billy Clark's birthday celebration in
Within a few months of meeting. So, are we noticing a pattern here? Nivea took a year and a half before it was a marriage and a baby. A year and a half before marriage and a baby. Then kid cut to the curb. Because you cheating with another girl and she couldn't take it no more. Then while you single, sleeping around still, you get this one. A couple months later, ringing the finger again. Another baby about to pop out. Oh, we noticing the pattern here with this nigga.
July 2009. In September 2009, they got married in Las Vegas, and 1 month later, the Dip It Low singer announced she was 19 weeks pregnant. Christina told People magazine they were excited for the arrival of their bundle of joy. She gave birth to their daughter Violet in February 2010, and 5 months later, the Dream was spotted frolicking on the beach in the Caribbean with another woman, and without his wedding ring. The woman was later identified as his assistant, Melissa Santiago. When the photos hit the internet, he released a statement saying he and Christina's marriage had been over for months, and they had decided to end things in late 2009, just months after they had gotten married. After doing some more digging, TMZ found out the Dream had filed for divorce back in February 2010, 9 days before she gave birth to their daughter, and 5 months before he was spotted on the beach with his assistant. In the divorce documents, the Dream said their marriage was irretrievably broken. He added that there was absolutely no hope for reconciliation. Days after confirming their split, Dream wrote a letter to his fans on his official website, explaining that his marriage didn't end because of an affair. He also wrote that he was so distressed about his marital problems, he considered taking his own life at one point. He took full responsibility for misleading his fans into thinking everything was fine, when in fact, his marriage had been full of problems from the start.
Cut the cap. Cut the cap. That's two. That's two. That's twice. Y'all heard that? That's twice. That's twice. Nigga, that's twice. You use the same manipulation tactic. That's twice. How many times you gonna say, oh, my bad? You throwing rocks and hot in your hand with this shit now. How many times you gonna be my bad? And I'm sorry for hiding it from my fans, and you know, the damn marriage been over for months. Months. You still rocking that thing. And just moving on forward. I'm just saying, my brother. It's starting to be a pattern at this point.
In the end, he said he cried about his decision to end things. Considering they weren't even married for a full year, a lot of people weren't buying his explanation. Either way, their divorce was finalized in October 2011. Next, the Dream began dating a mystery woman, but according to The Dirty, he allegedly cheated on her in 2012 with a Canadian woman named Lydia Nam. The Toronto native reportedly announced that she and the R&B singer were engaged, but the relationship was far from being a fairy tale. Lydia gave birth to his child in 2012, making him a father of 5. That same year, Christina Milian put him on blast for being an absentee father. She told Houston's 97.7 radio station that she carries all the weight and has to be a, quote, 150 to 200% mom for their daughter.
I bet this nigga foul. Just going, I'm talking about the Diplo producer, they said it just right. This nigga just hit and runs. Hit and runs, hit and run, hit and run.
She added, I really would like for her to have a father in her life. Nivea expressed a similar sentiment during her interview with BET. After having a 4th child with Lil Wayne, she said her load is heavy because Lil Wayne and The Dream aren't able to step in and help. Nivea also said the lack of help has forced her to put her singing career on the back burner. She has asked both Wayne and The Dream to step in and help her out, but she said neither of them have provided her any assistance. In June 2013, The Dream was locked up in California for allegedly putting his hands on Lydia. Lydia declined to press charges, so The Dream was free to go. Their relationship came to an end as well, but Lydia wasn't quite done with him. In November 2013, she went back to the authorities to report an incident that allegedly occurred in April 2013 at New York's Plaza Hotel. Lydia accused The Dream of getting physical with her and putting his hands around her neck and squeezing. She said she waited so long to report the incident because she was afraid. After a 6-month investigation, The Dream found himself behind bars. In a statement, he claimed Lydia was lying about the incident as a way to extend her visa in the US. When he showed up to his hearing in September 2014, people were shocked to see another woman on his arm. She was identified as Leilani Martinez, and The Dream told Madame Noir he met her in passing at his friend's office and they hit it off. They got engaged in May 2014 and secretly married in July 2014 at San Francisco City Hall. The Dream was eventually cleared of the charges against his ex Lydia, and he and Leilani went.
I bet he was. He's a slick bastard. He got hitched with the next chick. That's why. He got hitched with the next chick. And she basically was able to say, hey, he was with me while all this was said to be going on. This slick bastard. I tell you.
On to have 4 children. As of this video, he's now a father of 9. He told Madame Noir his 3rd marriage to Leilani is different from his previous ones because there's no drama. He has a tendency to not call his wife to see what she's up to, but it doesn't bother her at all. That's why they work together so perfectly. On their 5th wedding anniversary in July 2019, Leilani.
You hear this shit? he has a tendency to not call his wife. He has a tendency to not call. It makes it a habit. But it don't bother her, apparently. He does it out of, I trust her. You hear the player shit that he doing?
He shared a picture of the two of them, along with a caption that said they broke away from the traditional notions of marriage and created a lifestyle that works for them.
Right.
The Dream said he loves being married and he always wanted to settle down. It just took him some time to find the right person. He and his third wife appear to be happy and more in love than ever, and we wish them the best. Let us know if you're surprised by the Dream's dating history. And thanks for watching Real Reality Gossip.
Cut the cap. Cut the motherfucking cap with this nigga. Bruh. So, Nivea, y'all saw this 10-year pattern we just went on? With a chick for a year, get pregnant, marry, move on. Pregnant, marry, move on. This one, pregnant, marry, been there for a minute. this one, he was there for a minute. But, there's a but. The but is this lawsuit. Because I started noticing a pattern here, like I said, with this nigga. And once I started seeing that pattern, I said, okay, when exactly he got married? When did he get married? The Dream got married to this chick, Lilani. I don't mean to say it like that. God bless to the woman. He got married to this chick in 2014. Look at this real quick. So, 2004, 2008, 2009, 2011. This one was barely 4 years. This one was barely 2. This one made it two and impossible. This one has actually stood the test of time. 10 years. However, okay? Yeah, he's a father of 9 right now. But what was interesting about this lawsuit, and we're gonna get right to it. We're gonna get right to it, y'all. This is Miss Shanaz Monroe, Shawnee Monroe, which this is Miss Shawnee Monroe right here. For those need to see. Very pretty young woman. Very beautiful woman. Very, very beautiful woman. If I can quote Donald Trump on Taylor Swift. Very beautiful woman. Very, very beautiful woman. But, yeah, she's very beautiful. Quote Donald Trump. And, I could see what the Dream saw in her. Now, let me stop. Let me be playing. But, no. So, I was looking at, a couple of things, first of all. So, with Shawnee Monroe, look at her SoundCloud, right? Well, let me go back. I don't know why I got that. Where's the SoundCloud at? Oh, it went down that quick. Goddamn. Anyway, this is the Instagram. This is her Spotify. So when you Google the Shawnee Monroe Spotify, reason why you Google the Spotify is because she was supposedly a musician that was signed to the Dream. This is her SoundCloud here. 21 followers. Artist that was promised the world by the Dream. Right? So, Miss Shawnee Monroe versus Terrius Gestildi, Diamant, The Dream, Contra Paris LLC, and Epic Records. So Contra Paris LLC is his actual independent label, and Epic Records is the parent company to it. Okay. Let me turn this off. So, start here. Plaintiff Shanaz Shani Monroe, or Miss Monroe, hereby alleges by and through her undersigned counsel, Whitger LLP and Gerard Bengali, APC, and as for her complaint against defendants The Dream in his label and Epic Records, together as defendants as follows. Preliminary statement. The Dream is an award-winning singer, songwriter, and producer who has written to fame, writing and producing songs for the musical stars of the last 2 decades. So, of course, you got Beyonce, you have Rihanna, to name a few, okay? He's also worked on records with Jay-Z and Kanye West. He worked on Watch the Throne. He's one of the main executive producers of that album as well. He has been hailed as one of the prolific hit makers in the industry and is considered innovative and incredibly talented. He has fashioned himself as a champion of art and artists. One called major record labels evil. One calling major record labels evil and stating the artists are treated like slaves in the record industry. Let's remember he said this. He said that major record labels are evil and artists are treated like slaves in the record industry. Let's quote him on that. In 2014, Ms. Shanaz Monroe was 23 years old, working in the United States on an international visa from the Netherlands, hoping to land her big break as a singer-songwriter. When Associates of Dream reached out to Ms. Monroe via social media, she was thrilled. She immediately sent along samples of her work and was quickly invited to join Dream and his partner Tricky Stewart in Atlanta. Far from being the amazing breakthrough opportunity she imagined, Ms. Monroe's experience with Dream was nothing short of a prolonged nightmare. Under the guise of pursuing a legitimate recording and publishing contract with Ms. Monroe, Dream lured the young and vulnerable artist into an abusive, violent, and manipulative relationship filled with physical assaults, violent sexual encounters, and horrific psychological manipulation. In both Atlanta and LA, Dream used his age and influence in the industry to manipulate the young artist into believing that she needed him to be successful, and roped her into his world through false promises to gain his Miss Monroe's complete trust, including assuring her that he would sponsor the extension of her international visa, telling her he would write blockbuster songs for her if she became part of his so-called sanctuary, like he did for Beyonce and Rihanna. Wow, that's pretty strong there. Offering her lofty visions of recording and publishing contracts with major labels, assuring her he would appropriately advocate for her, and promising her she would open for Beyonce's upcoming tour, going as far as to force Miss Monroe to diet and exercise excessively to prepare for the tour. In reality, Dream used Miss Monroe for his base desires, which manifested in violent sexual acts and vicious psychological torture. For example, Dream locked Miss Monroe in a dark room adjacent to a recording studio, violently having sex with her, and then leaving her alone naked in the dark for hours on end, returning to again have sex with her, and demand that she tell him she love him. My nigga. So, understand this, right? Understand this real quick. What year we just said? 2014, right? Who you get married to in 2014? Nigga, same year. Same year. Same year you back to your old shit. Same year. Same year your marriage, you back to the same shit. Crazy. So. Oh. Also, because I don't want to bypass that part. The promising of the telling her she would write blockbuster songs for her if she became part of his so-called sanctuary like he did for Beyonce and Rihanna. My nigga, I wouldn't be saying shit like that and using Beyonce. You a regular Sean Kingston, huh? Using Beyonce and Rihanna name. You a regular Sean Kingston the way he used Justin Bieber name and shit. You a regular Sean Kingston with doing shit like that. I wonder how they feel about that. This is people that you actually write for and write music for, sir. This is your clients. I wonder how your clients are going to feel when they are actually looking at this lawsuit. You know what I mean? Dream controlled all aspects of Ms. Mongro's stay in the United States, including providing her housing, transportation, and food expenses. He kept a close track of her location at all times, calling and texting her at all hours to demand updates on her location, or even keeping his own key to Ms. Mongro's hotel room, so he could enter whenever he pleased with no notice. So, there's no respect of privacy here, is there? Like, my nigga, whatever happened to courting? Whatever happened to just getting to know a person before you do all this other shit? I mean, she's there on a visa. This is starting to sound even more similar to a Rihanna story, now that I'm thinking about it. I've been reading, and I'm going to do something on that Bling book by Erica Kennedy, rest in peace. Crazy, I gotta even say rest in peace. Erica Kennedy wrote a book on Rihanna. It was supposedly like a mock version of, alright, so you know how we did Death of a Dynasty, and Death of a Dynasty was supposed to be a mock version of how Jay-Z and Dame Dash actually broke up and Rockefeller Records split. Basically, it's a mock version of how Rihanna got signed. And it's a pretty detailed reading. If you can read in between the lines, you know whose name is what. Like, you can tell when it's Jay-Z and her in the office, and she's basically having a decision of, do I go with Jay-Z or do I go with my friends that I came here with as a group? Do I sign as Rihanna or do I just stay in this little group here? And pretty much the same tactics are damn near used to groom Rihanna that are used to groom this young lady here. That Diddy used to groom Cassie. Like, this is like, the pattern of these guys and how creepy this shit is so crazy right now. The fact that these guys use this shit as just a regular manipulation tactic day in and day out and see nothing wrong with it. Like, it bothers me just even when I see like Al Pacino at the age he is having a baby by someone that is damn near 50 or 60 years younger than him. Are you fucking kidding me? And no one bats an eye at that? Are you fucking kidding me? I can't hip hop hooray for that. I hip hop hooray for the baby coming into the world, but not how. I'm just saying. Anyway. Like I said, it's just a bad practice of these guys in Hollywood with money and power, and I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. Why does my chat just goes away when I look at shit like that? I know I had something like that before, but I can't see now. Dream controlled all aspects of Ms. Mongro's stay in the United States. Okay. Close check. Okay. Dream forced Ms. Mongro to drink excessive amounts of alcohol by roughly pulling her head back by her hair and pouring alcohol down her throat. Dream frequently strangled Ms. Mongro during violent sex, sometimes with his hands and once using the collar of her dress on multiple occasions. Dream choked Miss Monroe so intensely that she almost lost consciousness. Now we literally just heard about that same thing, but that same exact thing with Nivea and the other girl. I mean, not Nivea, with the other girl that he that they said that he had the allegation with. So like I said, it's a pattern with him, with even the choking. That's crazy. Dream refused to wear a condom and regularly ejaculated inside of Miss Monroe against her protests. When he, so, it's 2014. You're supposedly married or on the way to being married to Lilani, and here you are trying to have another baby with this girl that you haven't even signed yet. My nigga, what are you doing? When he discovered she was taking birth control, he became enraged because he believed it to be a sign of disrespect. She was forced to hide her birth control pills under a mattress. Dream berated Ms. Monroe while having sex with her, calling her ungrateful and insisting that she praise him and declare her loyalty to him. Dream once raped Ms. Monroe in the back of a renovated Sprinter van the same evening that he forced her to engage in sex acts in a public movie theater. And see, when I hear some of these things, like in a public movie theater, I'm thinking about his album. I'm thinking about his actual album around this time. Matter of fact, what was the album Dream put out in 2014? Let me see something real quick. Yeah, because he had put out like a little short mini video, I remember, too. I just want to see real quick what album he put out in 2014. What did he put out? Yeah, the Love Hate joint. Yeah, okay. Let me see something real quick. I just want to make sure I'm back checking something. At least Royalty is a mixtape by the Dreams. Okay, so Royalty he put out. When did Love Hate come out though? Yeah, Love Hate was 2007. I was about to say, I know he had put something out that year. Or was it something? Now, let me see something. There's an album that he was working on that he came out with. Was it Love You to Death? No. Foreplay. Okay. That's what it was. Foreplay. I knew it was something that came out around that time. That was an actual push that he was doing, but it was Foreplay. So it's like I said, there's different songs that he's actually reenacting. I'm hearing. That's the ill part. It's different songs that he's actually reenacting in a lot of these, a lot of the rapes that he's doing. I hate to say it like that, but that's crazy that he is writing about a lot of this shit that he actually is doing to this girl. And God knows all these other girls. He's actually writing about a lot of this shit. Like, think about records like Partition and shit that he's wrote for like Rihanna and whatnot. He's actually doing a lot of this shit. That's the wild part. Dream recorded Miss Monroe during sexual acts and used the existence of the recording to threaten Miss Monroe into silence. Now, that right there, that's similar to what Diddy did to Cassie. That's exactly what Diddy did to Cassie. That's what allegedly Corey Gamble did to the guy that he was allegedly with. Like I said, this is starting to be a practice and habit of this shit now. Like, threatening with the recordings, like, And people recording, that's another thing. Y'all recording this shit and then keeping it and then being like, nah, 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 I got it. If you tell, I know you got it. That type of shit. Like, why? This some sick fucks. His depraved behavior was facilitated by his record label, Contra Paris LLC, as well as by Epic Records. The label Dream convinced to invest in Ms. Mongrove despite the fact that he never intended to truly support her career trajectory, but instead wanted corporate funding to assist in his trafficking venture. Notice he said trafficking venture. So this is definitely sex trafficking here too. Because remember, the girl was on a visa. The result of Dream's heinous acts was that Ms. Mongrove's career was upended. Her music was taken from her without any explanation. Contra Paris never provided her any compensation, and every attempt to revive her career has been hijacked by Dream and those who support him. Over more than a year, Ms. Mongrove experienced trauma that she has still not recovered from. She is broken as an artist, constantly afraid for her physical safety, and plagued by reminders of the violence and control she experienced at the hands of Dream, who has continued his successful career unscathed by his horrific acts. Nearly a decade later, Ms. Mongrove is still putting the pieces of her life back together, but she knows that without speaking up about what Dream did to her, she will never be able to heal from the harm he has caused. She therefore brings this lawsuit to speak up for herself and other female artists who have been tormented by powerful and selfish men in the recording industry. She seeks justice and accountability to prevent further horrific abuse like she experienced, and to regain her sense of self as an artist and as a woman. Jurisdiction over plaintiffs' related claims arising under the state law. Okay, we have to read that part here. So these are parties and then the factual allegations. The Dream has established himself as a talented, powerful writer. And songwriter. Dream is a Grammy nominated, so we know that part. But yeah, songs like Umbrella, Baby, Touch My Body, Kanye West, All the Light. These are his clients. And you have to think about some of the raunchier songs that he's written for some of these people. Think about the lyrics now. The guy is starting to look like a damn Aaron Hall. He even mentioned like Single Ladies Run the World, but then we talked about Partition. Think about the lyrics in Partition. Okay, so this is just his credibility. This is just his songwriter credits right here. So we don't necessarily have to look at this part right here. Okay. So, Dream has regularly maintained that he has a soft spot for women. In an interview with New York Magazine, he was commended for his song celebrating tough cookie feminism and was quoted as saying, "I've always had a soft spot for women because of my mom. Just their power. Man's biggest enemy is a woman who has it in for them. I just like being around them, watching, soaking up the information, being cursed out, being put out." Another publication noted that Dream has mostly cast himself as a worshiper of women, put them on a pedestal type, not usually a healthy attitude, but in the R&B landscape, he has stood out as a romantic. So basically, he's had this big ass persona about it. Yeah, yet this feminist persona is plainly contradicted by the reality of his actual relationships with women and his highly publicized arrests for domestic violence all the time. So Dream has been married multiple times, of course. We already went through this story. Now let's get down to Miss Monroe right here. So Miss Monroe is an extraordinary singer and songwriter. Receives an O-1B visa for her abilities in the arts. Miss Monroe was raised in the Netherlands with a passion, love, and extraordinary talent for writing and recording music. As a teenager, she began posting her songs on social media, developing a devoted following and catching the attention of several well-known producers around the world. In 2012, when Miss Monroe was just 21 years old, she signed a production deal with U.S.-based production company Shapiro Bernstein and Co. So she was moving around a little bit, and she was a songwriter, of course, as well. And as a result, she had applied for a 3-year visa for the alien extraordinary ability of the arts, extraordinary achievement in the motion picture or television industry, and as then president of Shapiro Bernstein and Co. wrote in support of Miss Monroe's visa and application, Shani is an extraordinary artist who has established herself as one of the top singer and songwriters in Europe, and at only 21 years old, Shani is on the short list of the music industry's most coveted artists, achieving outstanding success in a relatively short period of time. So she was a budding star. It wasn't like she was just some rinky-dink rookie that he had to write for. She was actually well on her way to actually doing things. She was professionally recording and doing well for herself already. And of course, when she heard the Dream wanted to work with her, she's saying, oh, okay, this is going to be an opportunity to really get my foot in the door. And, unfortunately, she bumped into someone that was just, wanting to just have his way with her. She is sought after by the top recording artists, record labels, producers, and insiders in the business, and her collaborations read like a who's who in the music industry. In further support of Miss Monroe's application for a visa, the vice president of membership for the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers wrote, Shani is an extraordinarily talented artist. In her native Holland, she has earned a reputation as one of Europe's most compelling and creative singer-songwriters. It's not often that a foreign songwriter Shani makes such an impact this side of Atlantic. And then let's get down to the actual complaint and seeking of damages here. So they're mentioning Tricky Stewart. They're actually mentioning Tricky Stewart in this right here. Okay, so here we go. This is where I was trying to get to. Okay, so let's just read here. So, as a successful performer, songwriter, and producer, Dream seemed like the perfect fit for Miss Monroe, who was, enormously talented in both performing and songwriting. Miss Monroe was thrilled at the opportunity to get her music in front of Dream and have the chance to work with someone who had significant connections and influence in the music industry. She therefore immediately sent Garland some of the music. Dream quickly responded that he would arrange a meeting between Miss Monroe and Merrick. Miss Monroe happily said that she would meet with Dream and the team. January 2015, while Miss Monroe was already in LA, Merrick reached out to Miss Monroe to arrange for her to fly to Atlanta to meet Dream. She arrived in Atlanta on January 29th, 2015, where Garland picked her up at the airport and told her that she would be meeting the Dream at a club that evening because Dream wanted to observe how she handled herself in a club atmosphere. Several hours later, Miss Monroe met Dream, Tricky, and Garland in front of Gold Room Club. Miss Monroe did not have any significant interaction with Dream while they were in the club, but she was told to get into Dream's car with him and Garland at the end of the night. While they drove Miss Monroe's back to her hotel, Dream discussed taking her to a basketball game the following day. So he hasn't even said anything about, hey, let me hear some music. Let me hear your voice real quick while we're driving back. None of that. Just, I'm going to take you to a basketball game. So he's already trying to just say, you know what, I'm just trying to let me date her real quick. See what she about and talk to her. You wanted her to come to the club. You didn't want her to come to the studio or nothing like that. You wanted her to just, you know what I'm saying? I get the, you want to see her in the club atmosphere and all that, but you can see that later on. You had to see that right at the bat. That's my thing. So when Miss Monroe attempted to turn the conversation to getting into the studio to record, Dream confirmed she would have the chance to record during the trip. The next day, on January 30th, 2015, Miss Monroe went into a studio to record with Dream's sound engineer, Bart Scattle. So remember, we keep quoting that date, 2015. Remember, he is now since married. 2014, she was reached out to. He's been married. He was married already. Or this maybe it was prior to, but even still. When she got there, he was married. He's been married since 2014. This girl got there in 2015. The following year that he got married, this girl got there. So keep that in mind. This is while he is married, this is happening. Okay? So the next day, January 30th, 2015, Miss Monroe went into the studio to record with Dream's sound engineer, Bart Scattle. During the recording session, Miss Monroe recorded a verse for the song Transparent, which was supposed to be a part of Dream's forthcoming two-part EP, Crown Jewel. While the official release of Crown Jewel was delayed, the song eventually leaked online. Dream failed to give any credit or compensation, for that matter, to Miss Monroe for her vocals. On the following day, January 31st, Miss Monroe went back to the studio and recorded the song 187, which Dream had written. Although Miss Monroe had no gang affiliations or violent history, she was presented with a song titled with the slang used for murder. Excuse me. That evening, Dream arranged for Miss Monroe to attend an Atlanta Hawks basketball game with Scandal, providing her with courtside seats. After the game, Dream and several others, including Tricky and Garland, took Miss Monroe to a strip club. At that point, Miss Monroe had not yet earned the right to have Dream's phone number, so arrangements were made through Garland. So now you basically just dragging this poor girl around to basketball games, strip clubs, going to the studio, but not really getting anything done. But except for some shit that you probably just need to get done real quick for yourself. And you got her just doing little side hooks or whatever, singing for people or whatever. That's just not even right. You ain't even try to help the girl career out so far from what I'm hearing. Yeah, she haven't even earned the right to get the damn phone number yet. That's another thing. You haven't even got the right to actually talk to this man on the phone after you being there for some time now, for a couple of weeks. Or I should say for about a week or so. Ms. Monroe had never been to a strip club before. While there, Dream repeatedly handed Ms. Monroe large stacks of cash and demanded that she throw the money at the strippers. So, I mean, I get this part. You're trying to give the artist the actual experience. So I went through this as a young artist before, where the manager is actually trying to just give you the actual experience, so you have something to actually talk about. Let me have you out here doing certain things, and you know what I mean. So you have some things to actually, write about the lifestyle, basically, when you have, different experiences that you want to put together in song or whatever. I get that part, but it's the extensive things that actually happen after that is a no-no. At one point, one of the strippers came to their table completely naked, and Dream instructed the stripper to get on top of Miss Monroe. Miss Monroe was visibly uncomfortable with the situation. Now, see, that's the part right there where you start saying, hey, okay, this is a female, number one. This is a female artist, so understand that part too. We get, she's a female artist, but she's not a female rapper. So let's also put that in perspective as well. She is not a female rapper. Of course, maybe Rihanna might want to do something like this and, smoke a blunt or whatever, because that's just Rihanna's thing. But that, of course, young Rihanna, fresh off the boat, wasn't doing this, I wouldn't think. They wouldn't have her doing this in the club, just throwing her stacks of money to do that. I would hope not, but, get your copy of bling. Anyway, you got the girl very uncomfortable with, of course she might not go that way. So you have a girl just naked on her dancing. This is an R&B singer. This is an R&B pop singer. This is, like I said, this isn't a rapper that this is happening to. This is a regular R&B chick singer. She ain't supposed to be in this scene to get no inspiration. She can't get no inspiration from doing this whatsoever. This ain't something she gonna be writing about like that. Dream seemed to enjoy how uncomfortable Miss Mongrel became. He laughed as Miss Mongrel asked the stripper to leave and perform for Dream instead. Dream insisted that the stripper go back over to Miss Mongrel several times throughout that evening. So now you're just being forceful of the whole thing. Now you really are enjoying it because you see she doesn't like it, and she probably wants to leave at this point, but you just keep sending the bitch back over there. That's crazy. The following day, on February 1st, 2015, Dream texts Miss Mongrel for the first time, and the parents signed that she passed the test. Wow, that she passed the test that Dream had been giving her. After saying hello, the first thing Dream text Miss Mongrel was, "Do you have a boyfriend?" Now you ask that question, my nigga. Now you want to ask that question after all doing all this shit? Do you have a boyfriend? Boyfriends aren't allowed. Boyfriends aren't allowed. That's a bit. Excuse me, sir. Click. It's a distraction. Miss Mongrel was surprised to be asked such a personal question so early on in her communications with Dream, but she wanted to be cooperative and responded in the negative. So she lied, basically, even if she did have one. As the end of her planned trip to Atlanta neared, Ms. Mongrel still was not given a recording contract or any indication that one would be forthcoming. But she remained optimistic because Dream and his team repeatedly expressed how impressed they were with her vocals and how much they liked her voice and general style. Finally, shortly before she was scheduled to leave, Dream told Miss Mongrel that he wanted to sign her to his label, Contra Paris LLC. Miss Mongrel was so happy and overwhelmed with gratitude. It truly felt like everything. She had been working for what was about to become, or was about to come to fruition. Dream told her that would make her the next Beyonce and Rihanna. So now you promising that you're gonna make this girl the next Beyonce or Rihanna, not knowing what Beyonce and Rihanna is already going through to even get to where they are at right now. So shame on you for even, like I said, you just being a regular Sean Kingston at this point, saying that you would make her the next Beyonce or Rihanna. First of all, you didn't even make Beyonce or Rihanna. Jay-Z made Rihanna. Technically, Jay-Z also made Beyonce, but that's another story we've already covered. Ms. Mongrel explained in detail to Dream that her visa was set to expire in November. That now you're just using the girl's right to even be in the country against her. Come on now. That's a low blow. That's a low blow right there. Ms. Mongrel explained in detail to Dream that the visa was set to expire in November of that year and that she needed a new petitioner to continue her visa for the following 3 years. She reiterated that she needed to know if he was serious about signing her and supporting her O1 visa, because if not, she would need to search for another petitioner. Dream assured that Miss Mongrel that Contra would be her petitioner. So now you're not even going to be you're saying that the label is going to be the petitioner to basically keep her in the company. However, you're just using it as a promise. You don't even know if it's actually going to work. You don't even know if it's actually going to, benefit her at the end of the day. And the broken promises part is the whole manipulation, the mind manipulation that he's been doing. Like I said, it's a pattern. If we're talking about Nivea, Christina Milian, it's just a pattern of the manipulation tactics that he uses. Basically, he uses your weakness against you, if you will. But if she hadn't given him that information, he probably wouldn't be able to use it against her, or he might have found it out later. But even still, He promised that she would receive an advance and written contract soon. Excuse me. He then asked if she would go to LA with him for the next 10 days to continue recording. Miss Monroe agreed. So now this is where the sex trafficking part comes into play. Because, like I said, the girl's there on the O1 visa that's about to expire. So she's about to really go back to her country. You pretty much have brought her over here for the simple fact that you thought, from the Netherlands, for the simple fact that you thought that, or not even the fact that, she thought that she was going to be signed to you and your record label Contra LLC, but you pretty much just been, giving her the runaround for the past couple of weeks now. Just got her around for your own pleasure. Got her around for your own eye candy and arm candy for the simple fact, that you're not even going to attempt to give this girl a chance. That's the fucked up part there. That's where the sex trafficking comes into play. You got this girl just moving around with you on a almost expired visa from out of the country, sir. That is where that comes into play. Miss Monroe, then just 23 years old at that, in an entirely new country, an entirely new and enticing world, truly believed that all her dreams was about to come true. Unfortunately, however, she would soon learn that it was just the start of a long nightmare. Real quick, I just want to see something. The Dream Asian 2015. No, not 2015. Okay, so he was 38 years old at the time. And she was just 23. Once again, I say, the practices of these guys is just so damn often. It just, everybody is, one diddler is another. A bird of a feather flock together, but we gonna say that too. The bird of a diddler flock together. And these niggas all run in the same circle, having the same conversations. You with how old time, sir? You were 38 years old to this 23-year-old little girl, my G. Yes, sounds like a prison manipulation and turnout tactics. This is like I said, a one-time thing. See, you could tell me the first time that you ain't had a guidance, and then you just don't do it no more. It's when you make this shit a habit that I start to notice these things. Because then the second one with Christina Milian, you ain't even had the decency to tell nobody that the damn marriage didn't even work after a year. Then on top of that, you had the nerve to just leave both of them with babies and just run away. Yeah, quote Kendrick on that, Mr. Skull Train. There's some weird shit. Like, all you old niggas with this shit. 38 years old, you took this damn girl out the country. 23 years old. What is wrong with y'all? In an entirely new and enticing world, truly believed that all her dreams were about to come true. Unfortunately, however, she would soon learn that it was just the start of a long nightmare. Yeah, that's right. Dreams and nightmares. I tell you, Dream uses his success with Beyonce and Rihanna to manipulate and exploit Miss Monroe. From that moment, Dream began texting Miss Monroe. He began regaling her with stories about how he helped create Beyonce and Rihanna, and would do the same for her as long as she did everything he told her to do. So now you're saying that Beyonce and Rihanna did everything that you told them to do, and you created them and you made them? My nigga. I can just imagine when this lawsuit came out, the amount of rings that you probably had to get a whole new number. And then when you get that new number, they found that new number from somebody that knew somebody. And you had to delete that one. And then that one. And another one. And another one. I bet you Beyonce and Rihanna called you until your ears turned red, you little red light-skinned motherfucker. I'm telling you. The fact that you kept using Beyonce and Rihanna, you ain't got to worry about them two calling you. You got to worry about their husbands. And one of those husbands employs you, sir. Understand that. One of those husbands employ you. Not just you write for them or write for their wife. He is your employer. Okay? He is your boss. You have been using his wife's name to manipulate women. And there got his wife in this shit. My nigga, you done fucked up beyond good measure with this one. And this is why a lot of people probably have been like very mute with this particular case, because it's like, my nigga, I'm just saying, with this particular case, I'm pretty sure the powers that be are trying to sweep this one under the rug, because it's like, hey, look, don't hurt him. He writes some good songs. We might need him later. Don't hurt him too bad. Don't hurt. I guarantee you. He like tells you, I know you got killers, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean you do it. I ain't had no guidance. I ain't had no parents in my life. You know. I tell you, this nigga here. Dream told Miss Monroe that in order to write songs for her, he needed to know everything about her, including everything, and that embarrassed her, upset her, angered her, excited her. Every single thing. Wow. Every single thought she had. So now we're getting into, once again, the manipulation tactics. So now you want to know every single thing about. This is almost like church confessions. You know how, dare I say, and I hate to say it like this, unfortunately, how the little boys actually get molested in church, because when they go to the confession booth and they have I guess you say the priest on the other side, and then you have the little boy on this side, and they're basically just confessing and confessing and confessing to the point where, you know, the priest is just asking certain questions that they just shouldn't be asking to lead to somewhere that it should never lead to, if you get what I'm saying. So that is the same thing that is going on here when he's going, I want to know everything about you, what angers you and excites you and all that other shit. Because once he knows the excited part, he's then going to use that in manipulation against you when he gets to the excited part. And I hate that shit. The industry is a game. You can't fall for it. You damn right. I'm with Cat Williams. You got to tell him no. You just got to tell him no sometimes. Dream told Miss Monroe. Okay, so perhaps sensing Miss Monroe's hesitation and confusion, Dream said Dream said that was how true songwriters and producers needed to operate in order to write the right song for each artist. He said Miss Monroe needed to belong to him so they could become the next Bay and Jay. Yeah, right. In reference to Beyonce and Jay-Z, Dream knew how much Miss Monroe loved and admired Beyonce as an artist. He regularly used Miss Monroe's admiration for Beyonce as a way to manipulate Miss Monroe, telling her that the only reason he achieved such great success with Beyonce is because they created a sanctuary together, which allowed him to know Beyonce in a way that others could not, and consequently he could write the best songs for her. Cut cap. Cut the cap. Because ain't no way in hell you getting that one off, and your motherfucking your boss is hearing that about you saying that about his
See, little
wife.
shit like that lets me further know what it is you really do.
Because you have to understand how brave he has to be to even be using these names the way he's using them. And the fact that she is a Beyonce fan. See, this is what, like I said, a manipulation tactic because he already asked her what excites her, what drives her wild, what is her inspirations. So now he knows that she's a Beyonce fan. Of course he's going to exploit that. Of course he's going to exploit that part right there. Dream explained that a sanctuary was even stronger than a spousal connection because it was about art. So now you basically just keeping a girl around and you don't even want to marry her, of course. You're just keeping her around, of course. I got my wife. You are just going to be just my muse right now, whether you know it or not. Being part of a sanctuary with Dream meant that Ms. Mongrose was required to disclose all of her secrets and thoughts and become trust partners with him. He said that his relationship with Beyonce was so close that he knew about Beyonce's pregnancy before her husband, Jay-Z. Boy. Dream, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You knew about the pregnancy. And this, see, you gotta understand what pregnancy we're talking about. We talking about the firstborn. We talking about Blue Ivy that he knew about. He knew about Blue Ivy before she was, what? You knew about Blue Ivy before Jay-Z knew about Blue Ivy? You got to understand the amount of calls that is going to be made, or should I say have been made, to this nigga phone. Since then, I can only imagine. He has went into hiding when you are saying something like you knew about Beyonce's baby before her husband did. Nigga, you better dig your own grave and hide in it. Because, oh, wow. I will need to know things you think or embarrassed about to the furthest extent, excuse me. I'm going to be your better half of this goes where I think it's going. If this goes where I think it's going, I'm going to be a better half. So Dream reminded Miss Mongrove that she better be grateful that he was working with her because he was putting work on Beyonce's album. He was putting in work on Beyonce's album on hold. So he put Beyonce's album on hold, and that if she wanted to reach the same level of success as Beyonce, she needed to become as close to or closer to him than Beyonce. He said that meant that Miss Mongrove should ask and follow his advice on everything. So just copy and paste. Copy and paste. Rely on him to be her main confidant and limit her inner circle to only those people who he approved of and trusted. Dream also told Miss Mongrove that if she acted right, he would share the specific formula he used with Beyonce, and that Miss Mongrove and Beyonce would be the only two artists with those industry secrets. That's cap. Called the cap. It's cap. Never would be just him and someone else having the industry secrets. Never would be just two people knowing them industry secrets. I tell you, guarantee you that one. Dream routinely pointed out that he could make any new artist successful, but he was choosing Miss Mongrove, so he expected her to respect him correctly. But emphasize the correctly. That's crazy. Dream frequently pitted Rihanna against Beyonce, implying that Rihanna was fighting for his attention and was frustrated that he was giving it to Beyonce instead of her. He said that Rihanna was begging him for good records, but because of his special sanctuary relationship with Beyonce, he saved them for Beyonce, and that Miss Mongro's could be a part of it that as well. Get down here. According to Dream, Rihanna was possessive over him and got angry when he worked with Beyonce. In an argument effort to retire, how grateful Miss Mongro should be for the opportunity to work with him. Dream told her that Rihanna would frequently send him flowers and other gifts. So, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Rihanna. Make sure it's right. That Rihanna would frequently send him flowers and other gifts. I can only imagine them calls the next morning. He reiterated that Rihanna had to work to make him give her hit records, and he was choosing to work with Ms. Mongro instead. In one of their earliest text exchanges, Dream asked Ms. Mongro when she lost her virginity, explaining that Rihanna had told him his information about herself, insinuating that artists he worked closely with shared such intimate information with him. Dream led Miss Mongro to believe through manipulation and coercion that if she allowed him to completely control every aspect of her life, they could create the ultimate sanctuary that would surpass anything he accomplished with Beyonce or Rihanna. When Miss Mongro questioned the idea of the sanctuary or asked Dream to clarify what he meant, she would receive evasive responsive like the following: "I let you know after we win 10 Grammys together. Right now, you just have to be free and let me unaddress you emotionally. I can know what's underneath your heart. Or should I say, I can know what's underneath your heart." So for a new artist, the thought of becoming the next Beyonce or Rihanna was obviously intoxicating, and Miss Mongro was willing to work as hard as possible to make her recording dreams finally come true. Dream told Miss Mongro that he was working on Beyonce's new tour, and that if everything went well, Miss Mongro could open for her, but that shared this promise only in the context of his emotional manipulation of her. I think the more freedom you give, the more relationships I will be able to put you through and in. I am a straightforward person. Things like the Beyonce opening isn't a big deal. To get it done, that's my family. Miss Mongro had no reason to disbelieve what Dream was telling her at the time. He was unsuccessful at made hit records with Beyonce and Rihanna, and convinced her that two of the most successful recordings artists were dependent on him for their success. Dream regularly held his age and experience in the industry over Miss Mongro, telling her that if she did not understand how his methods were necessary to success, and instilling in her that she should be grateful for his efforts to help her, placing himself on a pedestal and emphasizing that her success was only possible thanks to Dream. For example, he stated the following over Texas: "So it means more to me than you. Can you imagine? My risk should tell you that in your mind, you should know that I am risking something far greater than anyone ever has for and with you. And it's because I know it's beyond an explanation. You can't explain this, so don't even try and don't even mention it. That's why the government denies things. It is, wow. It isn't because, it isn't because it's not true. It's because wow, this wording is crazy. It's because lesser minds would even would even understand. So why stop the life they have and change what they love about their life? It's actually an unselfish thing to hold in the truth. Yes, it very much is. Very much so. Miss Monroe was drawn into whirlwind of lofty messages like this and was quickly convinced that she needed Dream to make it in the music industry. Therefore, was willing to take any and all direction from him. Only now does she see that the Dream was, the Dream was using fraud and coercion to manipulate her into believing that she was being she was being brought into legitimate business and arrangement and not a venture to use for Dream's violent and sexual desires. Then we go down here to where we at. Make sure I don't loop a place here. Oh, we jumped way down there by mistake. I don't know how that happened. Okay. Okay. Dream reiterated to Miss Monroe that she was part of something special, that he let her into his sanctuary because she was so talented, and that she was part of something bigger than anything she could understand. In the studio, Dream began to which 92 passed Miss Monroe, and she pulled back, suggesting that it was not a good idea to be flirtatious with others around. Excuse me. All right. Dream proceeded to take Miss Monroe through the house where the studio was located, eventually bringing her to a pitch black bedroom. Okay, so here's where things get a little bit more crazier. Because now you're taking your so-called client to just an undisclosed location, the black nail polish. Okay, so it's pitch black in the room, I should say. And then I'm sitting here saying to myself, you just pretty much just trapping this girl with the pitch black room. And then you got the bedroom next to the studio. So you planning to do this shit. You've been planning to do this shit when you got the bedroom next to the studio like that, and it's pitch black room, you're just throwing the girl in. Upon arriving in the dark room, Miss Monroe had no doubt about what Dream's intentions were. She told Dream, "I don't know about this, and I don't want to ruin this." Dream responded by telling her this was really important. Oh, it sounded like it was going to be a question. By telling her this was really important and that they did not have the time to waste. He insisted that this will only make the records much better. Yeah. Not gonna make it much better. Dream then grabbed Miss Monroe's hand and placed them on his genitals. Oh, this guy's just getting nasty, real pervert with it now. In a real pervert way now. He then quickly escalated, pushing her down on the bed and inserting his penis into her. Others in the studio began to look for Dream and Miss Monroe, causing Dream to leave the bedroom to go back to the recording studio. When he did so, he locked the bedroom door with Miss Monroe inside, naked in the dark. This guy here. Now, real quick, I want to play something. Let's take a little audio break, if you will, both ways. Real quick, because when I was reading this I thought about the TV show that The Dream was on with Rick Ross and Lenny S. from Rock Nation. And the first thing that comes up is Miss Just Brittany, of course, as everybody remembers. In her situation with, for lack of better terms, it was light skin versus dark skin. And I wish it wasn't like that, because it's really just, sometimes it's competitive women, but one woman was chose clearly over a different one, and not for the actual reason of the talent. So let me just play this right here.
Could I get a 6-1 cigar, please?
Can I get a sweet tea?
I got a fine cigar over here to the side.
Just Brittany, you got me for the whole night. Baby, we gon' get it right. Oh yeah, I don't like no weird shit. Just fuck me and just leave quick. Oh no, you pick up with a boss, no worries at all. I can give you everything you need.
Your future bright, shorty, your future bright.
The music was bright.
Smartest move of her life.
I knew.
So you heard that, right? The music was bright. The music was bright, not her talent, not her future. The music was bright. You heard The Dream. Just being an asshole with it, but at the same time, you can clearly hear, this girl did not necessarily have the talent. They ain't checking for the talent. Rick Ross ain't checking for her talent. Rick Ross is just looking at, he bopping up and down, cheering, whatnot. Lenny S is looking over him like, nigga, you think this is good? She singing all off key. Ready to break a damn window behind her. Glad it was open. And Rick Ross is just, talk to a boss. Talk to a boss. And serenading him. It's clicking to Ross. Because you're talking to his ego and you looking, the way you're looking with your body. And you see, the BK said that she was venting the people that she worked with. Meanwhile, whole time was yeah. That's the thing. All people you writing for. All people you writing for. But with Just Brittany, fine Redbone, and you clearly start to see the distinction in, light skin versus dark skin coming up.
The song Boss Vibes that I did was going to get Ross's attention because I went to his past and I redid something and I put my own little twist to it and he liked it. My whole goal of this whole competition is to be the first lady of MMG. That's what I want. I can look this good and I can get a lot of attention, but I use my valedictorian mind skills and I make sure I take care of my business. Me and another person had the same beat.
I'm really curious who has the other beat she has the same beat. Oh, Kaya.
So y'all be able to hear the difference in R&B and hip hop.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Kaya and I, we had the same beat. I wasn't trying to be mean or catty or anything. I just had to put it out there because I had to save myself.
Kaya, you better deliver, Kaya. I believe in you, Kaya.
Boy, you can have my heart and all my love. I give you back cause I ain't too quick to judge. And I don't need nobody telling me that this ain't always that I can't see. So maybe we should run away. Run away. Find another place.
Yo.
They don't believe.
That wasn't the best platform for your voice.
Nope.
You have a unique voice. And Britt did sound better than yours.
They like mine's best, so it is what it is.
Every time you present your music, you better be a superstar.
My song is original. I wrote it myself. Brittany used the same exact melody and the same ad-libs. You didn't change anything. I think he was so blinded by the butt that he's not even paying attention like that. Brittany cheated.
She was kind of like a hypocrite. Even if we were supposed to be competition, I would never hate on someone. her doing the same melody as Maybach music and her getting put on a pedestal. That's crazy. I don't want to be petty, but like, she just thinks it's the Britney show. That's music business for me.
You heard it, right? That's just the music business for you. That's just the music business for you. Which is the truth. That's the absolute truth. A clear display of light skin versus dark skin, but not only that, it was also sexualizing. So clearly Ross was sexualizing Britney, and clearly that was why he chose Britney to be the winner in that one, the clear-cut winner. But it was because of the body shape. It wasn't nothing to do with the body of the song and the writing. Nothing to do with the talent, which you clearly heard Kaya could sing her ass off. But of course, that one didn't fit. Now, I will agree with one thing. That particular sound didn't fit her. She had a power ballad voice. So, of course, trying to out-sexy someone on that type of record wasn't going to work. But clearly, like I said, it was not about the talent, the selection of record, or any of that. It was clearly about the woman and how she looked and how she appealed to the men that were judges. And furthermore, listen to what the Dream's explanation of was.
Okay guys, so check this out. The Dream typically keeps a relatively low profile when it comes to social media, but the veteran artist was recently forced to address the recent controversy surrounding VH1's failed competition show, Signed. On January 22nd, Rick Ross, one of 3 celebrity judges on the show, became a trending Twitter topic after a 2017 clip from the show resurfaced online. In the clip, 2 women, Just Britney and Georgia singer Kaya, were performing for The Dream, Ross, and record executive Lenny S. Just Britney, dressed in a curve-hugging outfit, goes up first, and her singing is noticeably off-key, but gets showered with praise. Kaya follows and puts her clear vocal talents on full display, but Ross cuts her off and says that wasn't the best platform for your voice. Accusations of colorism started to fly, and The Dream felt compelled to weigh in, denying anything of the sort. 1 is called editing, he wrote on Monday, January 25th. 2, I'm sure I picked a talented singer named Bria. Yes, she's dark, but that's not why I chose her. 3, y'all are the ones that's weird as like, what the is wrong with y'all? Did you even see the show? So nah, y'all. 4, 5, y'all only show up for The Dream then seemingly gave up trying to tell his side and added, I don't give a it's useless. The liars are on top, the thieves are applauded for stealing, the religions are for everybody, belief and fact have given way to the internet, the new editors of the truth, like those first Bible editors, you know it's not real but you still repeat it. Out of here. But on Tuesday, January 26th, The Dream continued his commentary and seemed appalled by the notion he'd ever prefer one skin tone over another, tweeting, Recap, I'm completely surprised by even the smallest amount of people that would ever test my blackness and my love for my people and my culture in every shade, especially the darkest of you. I'm not overly surprised, but as much as I've done to move women forward through songs and always. He added, being the one that makes sure looks a certain way, I'm sure every director and every artist or person who have saw me work and been around me know exactly how I prefer things. Black as all the time.
See, little shit like that lets me further know what it is you really do.
Cap, you prefer black? I call Cap. Call Cap. I call Cap, sir. You know why I call Cap? That's why I call Cap. Blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, huh? I don't see a brown tone but Nivea. That's the closest thing to it. I'm just saying. I call Cap.
With all I've done is what y'all have for me makes you think diff. The internet chatter also forced Kaya and Just Brittany to speak out. In an interview with The Shade Room, Kaya insisted she had a positive experience during her time on the show despite the optics from the clip. The resurfacing of the video is so surreal. She said, "I'm humbled that a lot of people have come in support of my journey. Colorism is a topic that needs to be discussed wholly and not summed up in one response. But it's very disheartening to know so many go through this, male or female. To pin black women and men against one another or make it where some are seen superior is sad. As the years go on, I hope it's being addressed and rectified in the future." Just Brittany weighed in with an Instagram post, writing, "That's me in the orange hair. I'm happy this video is making its rounds, and I want to say that colorism definitely plays a role in lighter-skinned women, like myself, having more access in the industry. Kaya is extremely talented, and I wish darker women were seen more." But what do you guys think? Do y'all think it was really just editing that made the clip seem that way? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell to stay up to date on our new videos. And it's
Yes, that is what made it. Yes, that is what made a decision. How looks made a decision. That was it. And that would be more evident within the show.
I may have given Brittany special treatment, you know what I'm saying? She was attractive, you know, I was kicking it with her. And not only that, you know, I showed her, you know, a little extra love, maybe because me working with Trina, you know, seeing the success and, you know, once you work with somebody, it be things that you seen and things that you knew you would have done different. So I kind of wanted to apply those things to her. So, of course, I had a fun time with her. I was flirting with her, but, you know, at the end of the day, I really wanted to see her win. Yeah, I would consider making Just Brittany the first lady of MMG. It most definitely is a possibility. For you to be the first lady of MMG, you really gotta be something that's phenomenal. Really something that's incredible. Obviously, I've never signed a female to MMG, so, you know, to make me do that, there has to be something that's special.
And it wasn't nothing even to do with her talent. That was the thing. Again. And shout out to Just Brittany. Shout out to Just Brittany. But like I said, wasn't nothing to do with the girl talent. Nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it whatsoever. Let's get back into this. Let's get back into this because we about halfway through. Upon arriving in the dog bedroom, Miss Monroe had no doubt about what Dream's intentions were. She told Dream, "I don't know about this. I don't want to ruin this." Dream responded by telling her this was really important, that they did not have time to waste. He insisted that this will only make things much better. Dream then grabbed Miss Monroe's hand and placed them on his genitals. Then quickly escalated, pushed her down in the bed, and inserting his penis into her. Others in the studio began to look for Dream and Miss Monroe, causing Dream to leave the bedroom to go back to the recording studio. So, left her in there after people started looking for y'all. When he did so, he locked her in the bedroom door. He locked the bedroom door with Miss Monroe inside, naked in the dark. After some amount of time, Dream returned to the bedroom and again had sex with Miss Monroe. He did this repeatedly for several hours, leaving Miss Monroe tired and confused. So pretty much you had your own little ditty party with her. You pretty much casted the girl out, had your way with her, just kept her locked in a room. Like I said, this is the trafficking part, sir. This is also the sexual assault part. This is also the kidnapping part. When you're locking people in rooms, it's kidnapping. Kidnapping, allegedly. After some amount of time, Dream returned to the bedroom and again had sex with Miss Monroe. He did this repeatedly for several hours, leaving Miss Monroe tired and confused. During this ordeal, Dream told her that this was going to be great for Miss Monroe and also demanded Miss Monroe tell Dream that she loved him In fact, he would only stop aggressively having sex with her once she said that she loved him. This nigga is disgusting. When Dream finally let Miss Monroe leave the bedroom, it was around 6 a.m. They've been there about 10 damn hours now. The sun had risen and most of the people from the studio had left. So she ain't go there to do no type of recording. She just got locked in the damn bedroom, got fucked for 10 hours, and pretty much just got let out like a dog that need to go piss. That's kind of fucked up, Dream. That's kind of fucked up. However, did see her and Dream leave the bedroom at that hour. She returned to her hotel confused but tried to remain grateful and hopeful for what she believed was her big break. Given Dream's pressure and insistence, Miss Monroe felt it was useless to continue protesting. Instead, she tried to convince herself that it was a consensual sexual interaction. So, remember when we did Miss Lampro's case with Diddy? This is damn near identical. That's damn near identical. Remember, she was like, I gave her a mulligan. She was like, I gave him a mulligan. I gave him a second chance. He raped me. Yeah, he fucked the shit out of me. He raped me. I know he raped me. But I'm gonna give him a second chance because I'm hopeful that my dreams are still gonna come true. I'm hopeful this person is still gonna make me rich and famous. This is the crazy mind manipulation tactics that these niggas use, and it is unfortunately effective. That is the sad part. That is unfortunately effective. It was easier to believe what Dream was saying than to face the reality of the situation. See what I mean? That a famous and significantly older music producer was using his influence and power to make a young woman on her own in a foreign country have sex with him. Dream later texted Miss Monroe and acknowledged that he pressured her into having sex with him. In particular, he texts, "Entering you is like walking through a door of roses." Sure, there are thorns, but isn't it beautiful? Diamonds can't be made without pressure. Nothing great can. That's like Aaron Hall. Remember how Aaron Hall was when we broke down his sick ass writing the lyrics basically to how he raped the girl? My G. What are you doing? There's nothing poetic in raping someone. You try to find a Shakespearean way of texting this girl the next day of what you done. You sick fucker. How dare you text the next day entering you was like being in a bed of roses. Sure, it had thorns, but isn't it beautiful at the end of the day?
You raggedy bitch.
My nigga. It's disgusting. Like I said, the practices and the tactics that y'all use of mind manipulation is disgusting at this point. On February 7th, 2015, Dream texts Miss Monroe, "We are married." Wait, what? "We are married through art. And I won't ever let anyone take advantage of you and will perfect sick you to the end. Like a knight." Unfortunately, it was Dream who Miss Monroe needed protection from, and there was no knight willing to help her when she needed it the most. So now you got the forcing the girl to tell you that she loves you, right? You're forcing her to tell you that she loves you. On top of, you're saying that we're married through art and you won't let anyone hurt her and you're the knight in shining armor of her protection. You are doing all of this while you are married. You are actually married to Lilani still. I want to keep that part in context with y'all. This is a year after meeting this girl, bringing her out of the country in the Netherlands, having his way with her, and is actually married. My nigga, you need help. You need Jesus and help. Unfortunately, it was Dream. Yeah, we read that part. Okay, so throughout her time in LA, if Miss Monroe and Dream were in the studio at the same time, he expected her to be available to have sex with him whenever he demanded it. This is on some Diddy shit now. That's more on R. Kelly tip right there. Dream refused to use any protection. While she was in L.A., Miss Monroe became sick with strep throat and was given antibiotics to treat it. She knew that antibiotics could lessen the effectiveness of birth control and begged Dream not to ejaculate inside of her. He refused at one point while they were in L.A. Miss Monroe physically tried to get away from him and to avoid him, ejaculating inside of her, and Dream held her arms down, ejaculated inside of her over her protests. Okay, I'll skip something there. This type of violent sex control and manipulation became more and more common as they. Oh, it didn't skip anything. As the days passed. Okay, so on or February 13th now. Yeah, it didn't skip anything. So on or February 13th, 2015, Dream sent Miss Monroe sexually explicit texts, including one that said, "I want to fuck your bladder so hard that it made you piss all over me." This must be the explicit version of this particular filing. In between sending those text messages, Dream texts Miss Monroe about the recording deals he was working on for her, including, "We will have major distribution in about 30 days. So you better be ready." Dream frequently used this type of manipulation where he intertwined business promises with violent sex. So, Valentine's Day now, 2015. Dream texts Miss Monroe that she must care about what he cares about. Said, excuse me, I didn't mean to hit the mic again. Said, your life is now, you have way more. Your life is now, you have way more room. But I will care about those things in your life like they are my own. Your mother is my mother. Your father, your brother, your friends are mine. Your enemies I will inherit as my enemy. This is chanting. That's chanting. That is, dare I say, ritualistic chanting. Dare I say, almost satanic chanting. Your friends are mine. Your enemies I will inherit as my enemies. That's occultist chanting. I can't say allegedly, because if he's actually saying that, that's occultist chanting. Your mother is my mother, your father, your brother, your friends are mine, your enemies I will inherit as my enemies. My G. This is different. It's different. Very different. That's blood oath talking right there. So now you're trying to induct the woman into a blood oath. I'm just saying. It's getting to that point now where, like I said, you really can't fight this too good in court. The following day, Dream left L.A. for work obligations and gave Miss Monroe permission to go home to Amsterdam as long as she moved to Atlanta within 4 days. Miss Monroe was in a precarious state at the end of her L.A. trip. From a professional standpoint, Miss Monroe felt incredibly excited about the work she had done and could really see her visions becoming a recording artist come true. However, she also felt increasingly confused with and fearful of Dream. He was volatile and quick to anger if she did not quickly comply with his demands. Yet, in such a short period of time, he also told her that he loved her, would protect her, and cared more about her than anyone else ever would. It was dizzying. Hold on. It was dizzying, which precisely Dream's intent in his campaign of psychological and physical manipulation. Excuse me. Dream convinces Miss Monroe to move to Atlanta, where Dream's manipulation and abuse escalates. In order to convince Miss Monroe to move to Atlanta, Dream promised that the contract was forthcoming, that he would find her an apartment to live in, and that he would pay her expenses in Atlanta until she received her advance. As a result, Ms. Monroe flew to Amsterdam February 17th, 2015 to pack all of her belongings and prepare to move to Atlanta. So now this is the Rihanna part. This is damn near exactly what happened to Rihanna when she signed her contract with Def Jam. And I should say with Jay-Z. Went back, parents paid off, allegedly, packed the shit, came back, signed. After spending, what was good, damn near, 12 hours? 12 hours they kept Rihanna, allegedly, before she actually gave it and just signed. So, it's crazy, man. This sounds, like I said, identical to what happened with Rihanna. On the day before she left LA and Amsterdam, Dream texted Miss Monroe, hopefully we will have a deal memo in place before you come back to confirm that was the plan. On the same day, during a text conversation with Miss Monroe, Dream texted that I will not let anyone disrespect you. This contract will be fair and respectful from my end, period, and I'm going to pay your advance out of pocket for your information. I also, other than Tricky Stewart and Mark Stewart, would love to be involved in your management process. So, you've already been in the management process. You've already been in the management process, unfortunately. And it hasn't been a good thing. It has not been a good thing. If anything, I would decline that bullshit. Throw the contract, rip the contract up and throw it right in your face. Before Ms. Monroe could even respond to Dream's promise that her contract deal would be fair and respectful, Dream said, I need to see inside that pussy, though. See what I mean? It'd be shit like that. It'd be shit like that. I need to see that pussy, though. As your man. Once again, you are married.
See little shit like that lets me further know
you are married. Talking about as your man. Now, go in the restroom, pull your panties to the side, and take a pic. Now, crazy thing is, he actually had a song called this. They actually had a song called this, Pull Your Panties to the Side, in which the lyrics are, Let me fuck you, baby, fuck you, baby, baby, yep, fuck you, baby, what, baby, we all grown-ups, right, baby, let me fuck you, baby, let me fuck you, baby, all we need, baby, is me and you, sail off just us two, it started off with just us flirting, I tried to tell you, mama, my mind's so dirty, I can see you're fully open, once I get your body where I want, you'll never close them. So come make love to the romantic and everything you thought you knew. I'ma vanish. So even in that, panties to the side, just this very small amount of lyrics tells you who he is, pretty much. Let me fuck. Don't worry about nothing. Me nut. And I'm gone. I'm gonna vanish. He told you that. In a very short amount of time. Told you who he was. Just saying. Now, where we at? Because Miss Monroe is also a songwriter, she asked Dream whether the contract would include a publishing deal as well. In response, Dream said he would love to do all of her stuff and that he had already told Big John, aka John Platinum, that the chairman and CEO of Warner Chappell Music, once was finished with the label, will get with him to get her publishing deal in place. Dream then told Ms. Monroe to have her attorney put in any and all contracts that her option is always to go with Dream if there ever is a departure from the Dream and Trick working together. This was referred to as a key man clause. While Miss Monroe was in Amsterdam, Dream texted her incessantly, asking whether she was behaving, where she was, and what she was doing. On February 18th, this is crazy how this is all within these couple of weeks. This shit happened from January to just the middle of February. I'm doing all this shit. February 18, 2015, Dream told Ms. Monroe via text message that Rihanna had just sent him a sexual text. Now you lying on Rihanna pussy. Now you lying on Rihanna pussy. A not so suitable hint to remind Ms. Monroe to be grateful for him because Rihanna was allegedly interested in him. Then February 19, 2015, Dream texts Miss Monroe, "You belong to me now. I'm your mother and father and everything." Oh my goodness. Now you are enslaving this woman with this shit now. You got to be stopped, sir. When Miss Monroe arrived in Atlanta on February 21st, 2015, Garland picked her up from the airport with a gun sitting between them in the SUV. He told Miss Monroe that she needed his protection because Atlanta was a crazy place. She discovered later that Garland was often carrying Dream's guns because Dream had a pending domestic violence charge and was not permitted to have weapons. Miss Monroe was put in an isolated residence inn, which was not within walking distance of anything. It dipped, however, allowed Dream to come and go. Let's see. As he pleased without detection. Dream had his own key to Miss Monroe's room and reminded her that he could stop by at any time. The amount of privacy. He frequently did enter her hotel room with little or no notice. Miss Monroe, who could not drive and was relying on Dream for money for all the expenses because she had not yet received her contract in advance, was essentially trapped in the residence inn unless Garland took her somewhere. While she occasionally used Uber, Garland reiterated that it was a safety concern and that Dream expected him to transport her. Garland made sure to let Miss Monroe know how closely he was watching her when she took Ubers, as he could ask her for why the Uber driver took a certain route, whether the driver was trying to talk, and how much she spoke to the driver. Dream became increasingly controlling after Miss Monroe moved to Atlanta. He told Miss Monroe that she needed to check in with him every day. She needed to be available. She needed to be available to him whenever he called, and that she should depend only on him for anything she needed. Miss Monroe was no longer allowed to attend events, to go to clubs with Dream. She was expected to stay in her hotel until she was recording or at the gym. So now you just basically just slaved the girl and just kept her in there. You got her just working out or writing, work out or writing, work out or writing. You just got her just in your little flavor camp, huh, Dream? Bullshit. Garland regularly texted her to ask what she was eating and telling her to go to the gym while making unannounced visits to check on her. Dream forced Miss Monroe to change her social media handles to include references to Contra Paris and regularly demanded that she remove certain posts from her social media, thereby further isolating her from the entire outside world. Now, Miss Monroe had to beg to go to the studio. She was never given a schedule. Instead, she was just expected to be prepared to go whenever she was called. When she asked the Dream if she could go to the studio, he would chastise her and call her a brat. He would tell her that she should had to stop thinking about only herself. That he was important. That he was important producer who was working with a lot of important people, and that he did not have any time for her nagging, which about getting into the studio. Okay, here we go. Okay, it was not at all what Miss Monroe expected after being in the studio nonstop during her first visit to Atlanta and LA. Everything felt different once she committed to living in Atlanta and was under Dream's complete control. In between berating Miss Monroe, Dream continued coming to her hotel or meeting her in the studio whenever he wanted to demand sex. He also began doing walkthroughs of her hotel room to look through all of Miss Monroe's belongings, including her medication. So you just no longer respect any part of the privacy. You just coming in, barging in, got your own little personal key. You just walk in whenever you want. This dude right here. Okay, so doing walkthroughs of the hotel room to look through all of the belongings and including the medication. He got angry when he discovered that Miss Monroe was taking birth control pills and demanded that she threw them away. Now, harder things to come by, and that must have cost you bugging money. According to Dream, it was a sign of a disrespect to try to prevent a pregnancy by him. It's kind of crazy, man. This is kind of crazy here, man. Miss Monroe, who had no desire to be pregnant at the time, began hiding her birth control pills underneath her mattress. Not surprisingly, Miss Monroe had a pregnancy scare shortly after she arrived to live in Atlanta. Dream sent Garland to buy a pregnancy test. And when it came back negative, Miss Monroe let Dream know via text. He immediately called Miss Monroe and screamed at her for almost about an hour because he said it was an insult to him that she was happy that she was not pregnant. So you really trying to force a baby in there now? That's kind of fucked up that you're trying to force a baby onto her like that. Like you forced the baby with Nivea, you pretty much forced the baby with Christina Milian, and now you're trying to do the same thing here as well. And then in very early morning of the February 25th, while at Triangle Sound Studios, Dream plied Miss Monroe with alcohol and marijuana and forced her to have sex with him while he recorded it. Miss Mangro, who was highly intoxicated, tried to stop Dream from recording, but he refused. The next day, Garland told Miss Mangro that for a skinny girl, she had a nice curvy thighs. It was the first time Garland had ever made a comment about her body. While she had no way of knowing whether that was a coincidence, it certainly seemed designed to send a message that Dream shared the unconsented to sex tape. Where is it? She was humiliated. Dream would later regularly use the recording to threaten Miss Monroe that he could share it with anyone he wanted to. Always with the threatening their recordings. It's always them threatening with the recordings. I got this, and you show it, I know where it came from. So that's kind of messed up. Dream insisted that Miss Monroe tell him that she loved him. Wow, this guy's sick. She regularly had to send him the text messages expressing how grateful and thankful she was for him in order to avoid being screamed at for being a brat. So she's not even doing anything, but you basically just telling her, I'm going to do this or... Oh, man. Guy's a creep, man. Guy's a creep. Wouldn't do that to just Britney. Wouldn't do that to her. Alright. She was also expected to regularly buy him flowers to express her gratitude. I can't believe I just read that one. Why are you expected to buy him flowers? Why are you expected to buy this nigga flowers? After all the shit he done did to you, the hell it did for you, the amount of shit that you done did for him, you gotta buy him flowers? This is crazy. Dream began having Garland call Miss Monroe at all hours of the day or night to ensure she was in her hotel. And that's harassment right there. If Miss Monroe was sleeping or unavailable for any reason, Dream would get infuriated. Dream and Garland also began monitoring the food that Miss Monroe ate and how often she worked out because Dream thought she had gotten too thin and wanted her to be curvier, specifically suggesting that she should change her body in anticipation of the Beyonce tour, that she would be able to open up for Miss Monroe was often very, very hungry because Gabriel Monterid what did it say? Was often very hungry because Garland monitored what was ate. Okay. These typos right there. Monitored what was ate. If she mentioned something she ate, Dream would tell her that she would need to work out extra hard the next day. Miss Monroe considered Garland to be something of a confident when first arrived in Atlanta. He often asked how she was doing and was initially very kind to her. Initially is right at this point. However, she complained that she had not been to the studio for a few days or that she was stuck in a hotel room for several days in a row. Garland would tell her that all she needed to worry about was keeping Dream happy. Wow, this is just enslavement at this point. As he explained in substance, if Dream says something in vanilla, even if you see and know it's chocolate, if Dream tells you it's vanilla, it's vanilla. The mind manipulation here. Garland casually made statements that he would kill anyone who had an issue with Dream. Wow. Given that he would regularly display his gun, Miss Monroe took his statement as a veiled threat. So basically, she was now in fear of even going to like the police or anything like that, because she thought that Garland might kill her. That's kind of messed up now. That's kind of messed up. Miss Monroe continued to ask when she would be allowed back in the studio to record, but Dream continued to push it off. She also asked if she could start writing songs, given that Dream said her deal would include a publishing songwriting component, but she was not permitted to write anything. Dream considered it an insult that she asked and accused her of insulting his songwriting. So you're a songwriter already. You came in the game as a songwriter, but you're not allowed to write a single song for even yourself? You gotta just wait on him to possibly write you a song? Yeah, granted, yeah, he's a great pen as well, but this is just ridiculous now. This is just ridiculous at this point. Ms. Monroe continued asking about her contract on February 28, 2015. Dream said that her contract would be finished soon and again ordered Ms. Monroe to ensure that her attorney inserted a key man clause into her contract with Contour Paris. As Dream wrote in an email to Ms. Monroe, basically no matter terms or partners, ultimately you choose to exit blinding participants in a contract other than Terrence Nash, the Dream. If Dream goes, you go. Still remaining bonded to bonded to the Dream for remaining term of the contract, if any. So now you feel threatened for your life by Garland. You're stuck in a contract you don't want to be in. On top of being stuck in a hotel room, you're being enslaved and basically sex trafficking, allegedly. It's just this poor girl here. So with little to no anatomy or autonomy of freedom, Miss Monroe continued to tell Dream that what he wanted to hear, that she was loyal to him, and that she wanted the key man clause, and that she loved him. During the second week of March 2015, after a few weeks in the residence inn, Miss Monroe discovered bed bugs in her room and asked Garland to place her in a new hotel room. For reasons known only to Dream, Miss Monroe's request infuriated him. He screamed that she was trying to take advantage of him and she was not loyal, and that she was a brat. Miss Monroe tried desperately to explain herself, but Dream's anger continued to escalate. So the woman had bed bugs in her hotel room. You couldn't even come by. You couldn't even be a decent human being and come by and just investigate the whole thing, or just believe her and just put her in a new room. You just had to be mad about it. You're just sickening right here, then, man. He told her that it was her fault that Beyonce's album was delayed, and he had the right to tell her what to do to him sexually to make it up to him. He demanded that Miss Monroe apologize to him for the delays to Beyonce's album, while he forced her to perform sexually by commanding oral sex. Now, I guarantee you, if Beyonce read this right now, and she didn't smack the living shit out of you after reading that part right there, that it's her fault that you locked her in a hotel room, that my album is delayed. You got some nerve. Dream roughly shoved his penis inside Miss Monroe's mouth until she was choking. When she attempted to signal with her hands that she was choking, he said that he was her boss and continued forcing himself inside of her. This guy is just a sicko. Eventually, Dream began to choke Miss Monroe with both hands as she began to pass out. That's similar to what he did with the other girl, the domestic violence situation. See, he's got a pattern of this shit. Dream continued. He knows what the fuck he's doing. It's different when you don't have the guidance. It's different when you do shit multiple times and you know what the fuck you're doing, my nigga. As she began to pass out, Dream continued to scream that she was taking advantage of him. Wow. Dream continued to scream that she was taking advantage of him. This nigga here, tell you, boy, come, I'm gonna cook around the band for you. Dream stormed out and left Miss Monroe in shock, and with several bruises on her neck. Fortunately, she knew that was Dream was leaving town shortly, so she would have a few days to recover. Dream never apologized or mentioned the strangling incident again. I bet you he didn't. And unfortunately, it would not be the last time he became physically abusive with Ms. Monroe. On or about March 14, 2015, Dream left Atlanta to handle work obligations elsewhere. Ms. Monroe wished him a safe flight before he took off. But when she did not text him the following day, Dream texted her, "You know damn well you need to check in." During the next few days, Miss Monroe made sure to say hello or good morning. When she missed one day on or around March 21st, 2015, Dream texted her, "You're not checking in." So this is also, if this is 2015, I'm just thinking about, like I said, the fact that they all run in the same circle. This is around the time that Diddy is also doing this stupid shit to, like the allegedly Kim Porter. The following year, 2016, you got Cassie. You know, all these guys are basically doing the same things around the same time, just being certified fucked creeps. It's just ridiculous right now. Okay, so Miss Monroe responded that she had checked in with Garland every day as she was required to. On the following day, this is ridiculous. On the following day, Dream texted Miss Monroe to say, "My international wife, I think it's time for me to hit that pussy when you are having my baby. When are you having my baby?" Miss Monroe did not immediately respond. Dream text, "You're ignoring me now." Of course I am. Of course she's ignoring you, because you are married, sir. At this point, you are married with kids, and you're talking about impregnating a whole nother woman that you are cheating on your wife with, that you just basically got from a whole other country. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Miss Monroe immediately responded in fear, "No, I'm not ignoring you. I'm studying." Dream then threatened Miss Monroe that he was going to drive over to where she was, and said he was on the way. Wow. Well, because she said, "No, I'm not ignoring you, I'm just studying." You just going to say, "No, I'm just going in, just check on her anyway." On the way, even though Miss Monroe later learned he was not even in the state at the time, Miss Monroe did not respond quickly enough. Dream text, "This is definitely ignoring. You better not be cheating on me." As soon as Miss Monroe saw her messages, she told Dream that her phone was on silent to try to placate his escalating anger. When Dream returned from his trip, Miss Monroe tried to focus on recording and stay focused on her goals while keeping Dream as calm as possible. On the rare occasions that Miss Monroe was allowed to go into the studio, Garland said that Dream told him to make sure she was liquored up. If Dream was at the studio when Miss Monroe arrived, he would check to make sure she was intoxicated, and if he did not think she was drunk enough, he would forcibly pull her hair back and force her to drink more alcohol. Yeah, he's going under, man. He's going under if all this shit is true. If Miss Monroe wore her hair in a ponytail, Dream would roughly yank her back and pull out her hair tie. Miss Monroe had become so isolated and dependent on Dream for food and shelter in such a short period of time that it became increasingly difficult for her to comprehend the reality of her situation. So now she's pretty much delusional while you got her entrapped in this place. She's hungry and delusional. Now it says Miss Monroe signed to Contra in Paris and Epic Records in around March 2015. So now Dream told Miss Monroe that Antonio Reed reached out to him about signing her to Epic Records. Dream said he would handle all the negotiations with Epic, refusing to include Miss Monroe and insisting that any questions she asked him to get better understanding of the situation were disrespectful. So he's basically going to design the deal as well. He was going to design it as well. That's messed up that he's actually designing her deal for her. For Epic Records. And nothing she couldn't really do. Her hands were tied. Her hands were tied. She couldn't even do anything about the deal as well because he's basically just keeping her in the dark about it. No, I got this. You go over here. I got this. At or around the same time, Miss Monroe was staying at a new hotel that provided a driver who would take guests to destinations within a short distance. This was the first time Miss Monroe had any freedom to control when or where she could eat. She often asked the driver to take her to get food, and got to know him a bit. After several weeks, the driver expressed concern for Miss Monroe because as he said, she was always alone. She never left the hotel except to get food. And she did not appear well. It was the first time that Miss Monroe had any real contact with anyone other than Dream and the people he surrounded himself with. She felt embarrassed and ashamed that the driver could tell something was wrong. Ms. Monroe knew that her physical and mental state was deteriorating and was trying to figure out a way to go back home until she had her recording contract in place that she believed could protect her from the Dream's control and abuse, especially given that most of her time was spent alone just waiting for the Dream or someone from his team to tell her she needed to be in the studio. Pretty much she was tired of being a slave at this point. Dream, who was married, had a child on the way in May 2015, so he was more distracted than usual. Miss Monroe used the time to ask if she could leave for a few days to visit her mother. Dream told her that she could only go home if she left all her belongings with Garland. Perhaps sensing Miss Monroe's newfound realization of the abusive situation she was in, Dream's sexual assaults intensified. On one occasion, Dream told Miss Monroe that he wanted to take her to a movie. When they arrived there, it was another man in the theater who they did not know. Dream demanded that Miss Monroe perform oral sex on him while the man watched. She said no. Dream got angry and forced her to have sex with him in the theater while the man presumably watched. It was a physically painful encounter. So now there's just some random guy jacking off to you guys, and this is just beyond sickening now, because now it sounds like, now it almost sounds like there's some type of ring going on here that people are actually doing this type of shit. Now I wonder now. Now I really wonder if what this actually means here. So we got the peeping Tom guy that's not really a peeping Tom. He's in the same room. I wonder, is this an actual business? Not a ring, excuse me, not ring. We know it's a ring. But is this an actual business where people are backdooring like this with the stand? This is crazy. This is crazy. To have someone watching you and just, basically just watching through the back and jacking off while you getting head. And then it's embarrassing for her. That's the part. It's embarrassing more for her. It's embarrassing for her on the back end. And then the guy could come just back door. Like, he doesn't have to sit there and ejaculate. He can just come back door. And just stand there. As I said, that's sickening right there. That's sickening. I'm trying to think of the other word now. Just that's violating. On the same evening, Dream took Miss Mongrove to the parking lot of Triangle Sound Studio in this Sprinter van. In his Sprinter van, which had been remodeled as a tour van, with a mattress in the back. So now we've got a bed in the back of the van. Once they arrived at the gated lot, Dream told Miss Mongrove that they were not actually going to the studio, but instead he asked her to leave and enter the van. Oh, to leave and enter the van from a separate entrance at a different time than he did, seemingly in an attempt to keep his plans a secret from others present at the studio. Of course he was doing that because, like I said, he's married with a kid on the way. Of course he doesn't want anyone to know that he has a side chick at the time that he's supposedly recording music with. Yeah, he doesn't want nobody to know that. Once in the van, Dream locked the doors and pushed Miss Mongrove into the dark back of the area of the van. He pinned her on the mattress in the van, took off her clothes, and started forcibly having sex with her. He pressed his full body weight onto Miss Mongrove while covering her mouth and nose with his hands so that she was unable to breathe. So basically, he was trying to do that just to keep her mouth shut. This nigga is sick, man. He told her that he was angry and that she wanted to go home, and screamed at her she was difficult and ungrateful as he forced himself on her. Dream then began to choke Miss Mongrove, demanding that she tell her, "Are you mine?" And instructing her to say, "You're mine." His aggression scared Miss Mongrove, and choking became so intense that she believed she might have lost consciousness at one point during the ordeal. He told Miss Mongrove that she better remember who she belongs to while she was gone, demanded that she tell him that she loved him, and further told her that he knows everything about her and is foundation of her career and of her career projects. So basically, he knows the actual longevity of career she actually had and the budding career she had over here, just that she ran into, some fuck situations, of course. So when she goes back home, he's trying to put a manipulation in her head like, "Nah, bitch, I own you still. I own you still. You gotta say you love me." He's trying to do all that just to manipulate her for when she comes back into town. But that tactic is done and over with. It's over with. And once he finished, he instructed Garn to come to the parking lot and take Miss Mongrove back to her hotel. Miss Mongrove had bruises across her neck from Dream's strangulation. Miss Mongrove left for Amsterdam with one small bag around April 2015. At the same time, Dream instructed Miss Mongrove that she could only be in Amsterdam for a few weeks as the recording contract and distribution deal were finalized and executed. And in around April 11, 2015, Miss Mongrove texted Dream about a Billboard magazine interview he did that had just been published. He previously told her that he was going to discuss her as one of his new artists in this interview. She never came up in the interview. Gee, I wonder why. So she texted Dream to ask why she was not mentioned. It was an innocent inquiry, but it caused Dream to fly into a rage. He sent several pages of text messages in response saying, "It wasn't about you, it was about me. Don't patronize me, Shawnee. You know I'm smarter than that, and stop being so selfish. Don't ever call me about something so minute again, please. You treat me like I'm some side bitch or something, or as if I'm not important just because I made you important. I'm giving up. I'll let everyone know where we stand. This is all manipulation right here. This is manipulation 101 here. Don't ever call me about something so minute again, please. And do you hear how schizo this all sounds too? This is how bipolar and schizo he sounds. It wasn't about you, it was about me. Don't patronize me, Shawnee. You know I'm smarter than that. Very schizophrenic. Okay. I'm giving up. I'll let everyone know where we stand. Crazy man. That man is crazy. Certified. Is Mangro, Miss Mangro, who was just excited about the possibility of being mentioned in the article, was completely taken back by his reaction because he was becoming more and more unpredictable. She realized that anything she asked him had the potential to make him angry, and that she had no way of knowing what would had the potential to make him and would not cause such an explosive reaction. She was very thankful to be having the conversation via text instead of him in person. I would too at that point. Dream refused to speak to Miss Mangro for several days. She was left completely in the dark about whether or not he was planning to move forward with Miss Mangro's record deal. Argland then texted Miss Mangro to say he had spoken to the Dream. He told her that she needed to play her role, how she was she was humble, show her passion and loyalty, and provide a gift to the Dream as a peace offering. Fuck you at that point. Garland suggested customized Contra Paris clothing to improve to Dream that she was committed. Dream eventually responded to Miss Mangro. She was forced to reiterate how grateful she was for him, telling him that he meant everything to her and so forth. She continued texting Dream good morning to ensure that she was checking in as he ordered. On or about April 16th, 2015, this is 2 months in now, y'all. This is about 2 months, 4 months in now. This is 4 months in now. Dream texted Miss Mangro to say that Reed and Epic Records were going to be their partner on a record deal. This essentially meant that once she signed a recording contract with Contra, she would sign a distribution contract with Epic. Once both of the contracts were signed, Miss Mangro's album could be finalized and released on April 21st, 2015, while Miss Mangro was still in Amsterdam. She finally signed the contract, the Contra contract. That's crazy how you even have it worded like that. Was a recording and shopping contract that provided Contra with the exclusive rights to all audio, visual recordings, in addition to a 6-month time period to enter into a substantially negotiated distribution agreement. The contract specifically noted that the Dream was an agent of Contra, and upon information and belief, he was also the principal of the LLC. On May 1st, 2015, Miss Mangro then signed the Epic Records contract on the same day. Text Miss Mangro, Miss Mangro, it will always be mine, and not just your pussy, all of you. Your blood, your mind, your heart. Again with this chanting. Dream maintained complete control over communications concerning Miss Mangro's deal at Epic. He refused to connect her to anyone directly or even to include her in email or text claims with the executives from the major record labels she was now signed to. Miss Monroe meets representatives from Epic Records, and Dream becomes jealous, possessive, and violent. Miss Monroe had a return ticket booked to Atlanta for May 12th, 2015. She texted Dream to confirm that he wanted her to return on that date, but given that his son was born just a few days earlier, he told Miss Monroe that he would let her know when the return is to Atlanta. Finally, in late May 2015, Monroe was told him that Reed and Joey Argy, former executive vice presidents and A&R at Epic Records, want to meet her in person. She returned to Atlanta on or around May 26, 2015 to prepare. Dream told her to practice 3 specific records for the meeting, Married to the Game, 187, and Road. However, when they got to the studio, the Reed Dream began playing a 4th song, Cream. Cash was everything around me. One that Dream specifically refused to send to her to allow her to practice in an effort to embarrass and sabotage her in front of Reed. After Miss Mangros performed, Dream turned his chair toward her and placed his hand on her bare inner thigh and stroked her leg in front of Reed. And already, while the group spoke about her performance, it was humiliating for Miss Mangro and served only to assert a Dream's dominance over her. During the group conversation, Reed said that he liked how sexy Miss Mangro was, which infuriated the Dream. So now we got a jealous man that's already married getting jealous again. After Reed and Arbogee left the studio, Dream mentioned Reed's comment and forcefully had sex with Miss Monroe in the vocal booth while Garland guarded the studio. While Garland guarded the studio, it was so rough and painful that Miss Mangro began to bleed vaginally. So now you got the girl bleeding out of her vajayjay. This is just torture now at this point. Miss Mangro did not want to have sex with Dream at that time, and certainly did not consent to the physical violence and force he used during the encounter. During this trip to Atlanta, Miss Mangro celebrated her 24th birthday, as she posted a selfie to her social media to celebrate the occasion. Dream immediately texted her to delete it. She quickly complied. Dream replied, "You can't keep doing and undoing. If you don't get it, just say you don't, and we can move on. I got my own shit to worry about." It was just yet another not so subtle threat that if Miss Monroe did not do exactly as she was told, Dream could destroy her career. Miss Mangro flew back to Amsterdam on around May 29th. Await further details about the next steps. On or around May 19th. Just looking for that. Epic wired Miss Monroe's $35,000 in advance. So just looking for the money at that point. Just looking for that money at this point. It's time to go. It was only then that Miss Monroe was provided with any compensation for the work she had been doing for Dream since January. Miss Monroe was told the Dream and Tricky both received $150,000. Now that's a slap in the face right there. Not even a quarter. Not even a quarter of what you got. Upon the execution of the contract, Miss Monroe remained extremely confused about the next steps, but became afraid to ask Dream any scheduling questions because he took that as a sign of disrespect. Wow. Just wow. She reached out to sound engineer Scoutle to ask, if he knew anything about the schedule. She told Scoutle that Dream told her they were going to finish recording the album in Las Vegas, but that she was not given any time or frame despite trying to figure it out. Scoutle confirmed that Dream said that the same thing to him. Yeah, okay. Scoutle confirmed that Dream said that the same thing to him, and then said, but not allowed to ask about timing, right? That's what he had said to me too. Vegas wonder when. If I hear anything, I'll let you know. Ms. Mongrel responded, yes, I will let you know too. It's crazy, right? I don't know anything about my album. I was supposed to get a schedule, nothing. Ms. Mongrel was also started asking Dream more questions about Beyonce's tour because she continued to regularly tell her that she was prepping for it. Dream played Ms. Mongrel a song he wrote for Beyonce that featured Jay-Z. He told Ms. Mongrel that he was not allowed to play the song for anyone, but he allowed her to hear it to get her excited for the tour. Weeks later, Ms. Mongrel mentioned to Scoutle that Dream played her a new Beyonce song. She was so excited about hearing it and asked Scoutle not to tell Dream. She told him that she heard it. However, to her shock, Scoutle told Miss Mango that it was an old record that they had cut and that it ultimately did not make Beyonce's previous album. It was not part of a new album on tour. In fact, as it turned out, Beyonce was not preparing for a tour at all. Miss Mongrel started to realize that the dizzying whirlwind Dream had led her through was a mirage and wanted to control her physically and mentally. So June now, 2015, Ms. Mongrel asked Dream when she could come back to start working again. She said, you do know you need to, okay, so you do know you need to approve if I want to go out there. You're the one that controls my budget. Also, I can be there this weekend, so it's up to you. After Dream responded that he thought Miss Mongrel was flying herself to Atlanta using her own money instead of the money in the Epic budget, Miss Mongrel, I'm just going to call her Shani from now on. Shani said she could do that, but she thought Dream wanted her to stay there, which she could do, but not afford to do on her own. Dream then told her that he did not want to burn out the budget. We are planning on finishing in Las Vegas. As a result, Miss Mongrel was forced to continue waiting for Dream to provide permission to use their budget for her traveling and living expenses, or to go back into a studio to continue recording her music. Throughout the July, Miss Mongrel continued to wait. She was fearful of asking too many questions because of the way Dream reacted. However, she was fearful, reacted however twice. Also became, let me see here. However, Dream also became angry and called her disinterested if she was not regularly keeping in touch. It was an impossible balance. In mid-July, Dream reached out to Miss Mongrel to say he was planning her first showcase for the label in August, and was working on the radio edit for Married to the Game. Miss Mongrel said she was looking forward to the details. Later that same day, Dream texts, I need to fuck you now. Pervert. Straight pervert. The following day, when Miss Monroe did not immediately respond to the text message, Dream texted her, you better not be fucking cheating. Where the fuck you at? Late July. Dream began pressuring Miss Monroe to hire Cynthia Campbell, an assistant who Dream personally knew, but who had little experience with musicians, to pay that $15,000 for the first 3 months. Also told Miss Monroe to move in with Campbell, presumably as a way to keep close to track of Miss Monroe. Or Shawnee, I should say. Dream also scolded also scolded Shawnee for failing to buy Garland a gift after her contracts were signed, given that Garland was the Dream also scolded Miss Monroe for failing to buy Garland a gift. Wow. So she had to buy him a gift after her contracts were signed, given that Garland was also the person who connected her. Okay. While appreciative of Epic's $35,000 advance, Shawnee had been working and then sitting around without any compensation for many months. The advance was not enough money for Shawnee to hire her own assistant, pay for her living expenses, and pay Garland's fining fee. So now you got to pay the manager and the fining fee for your own record deal. Miss Monroe had no experience. Miss Monroe had no idea when or if another paycheck would come. Garland then began pressuring Miss Monroe to give him $10,000 to expand his security business. He said that Dream promised to pay him a finder's fee. I bet you he did. A finder's fee, but had not paid it, and that he was in a precarious financial position. For the first time, Shawnee pushed back. She told Dream that with only $35,000, she did not have enough money to pay Campbell rent an apartment and give Garland money and gifts. Dream was angry and chastised. Dream was angry and chastised. Chastised Miss Angros for being selfish, accusing her of not being serious about music because she could not pay for her own assistant and did not treat the people who helped her get to where she was correctly. That's bullshit. So Miss Monroe attempted to explain, but there was no point. Simply continued berating her. Soon thereafter, Dream coerced Miss Monroe to have sex in the bathroom. He purposely began her face against the sink, causing her right eye to swell and bruise. Several people in the studio asked what happened to her eye. Miss Monroe lied and said she ran into something. And then right here, Shawnee tried to complete the album and subjected to the repeated abuse by Dream. By the end of July now, Miss Monroe was desperate to get back into the studio, finish her work, and move on to the next step in the process. She believed that being signed to Epic would provide the necessary buffer between her and her and Dream. Miss Monroe should have been given some control over the recording budget, but Dream maintained full control over it via his role as chairman of Contra. Overseeing Ms. Monroe's budget allowed Dream to book and arrange everything, so he maintained complete control over Miss Monroe. As a result, when Shawnee returned to Atlanta to finish her record, she was living in a mid-range. She was living in mid-range hotels and Airbnbs, while her recording engineers were placed in four-star hotels. This was designed to punish and embarrass Shawnee because Dream was angry that she requested a new hotel during her last stay. When Shawnee questioned why those supporting her album were placed in better hotels than she was, Dream made a smile remarks about it, about her only wishing she could stay in the four-star hotels. He called her ungrateful. Got some nerve saying somebody ungrateful right now. Just saying. Shawnee got back into the studio early August 2015. Dream and Tricky began demanding that she pay for the food they ordered. Of course, she is. Oftentimes, Dream would not touch the food. It was just a test and a way for Dream to control the small amount of money she was given. Dream also made Ms. Monroe order a chain and cupcakes for the stupid personal. He said that she needed to learn how to treat the people supporting her, which was ironic given the way he treated her. Dream's abusive behavior continued to escalate. While recording in August 2015, other artists complimented Miss Monroe's shoes, which angered her. Which angered Dream. He locked Miss Monroe into a room off of a studio, and then physically assaulted her while Garland's guarded the door. Damn, you even had a lookout on this one. On one occasion, Shawnee A&R at Epic, Shawnee's A&R at Epic, Erica Coulter, joined Dream and Miss Monroe in the studio during this session. Coulter personally witnessed Dream pulling Miss Monroe's hair tie out, pulling her hair back to open her mouth and forcefully pouring vodka down her throat. Coulter also saw Dream touch Miss Monroe's body while in the studio. Okay, so this is all the stuff that Coulter is just going to be just testifying. When Miss Monroe told her eyes, she mentioned to her, asking if she saw what happened and suggesting she was uncomfortable. Coulter brushed off Dream's violent actions. Coulter also saw explicit sexual text messages between Dream and Miss Monroe during this session, leaving no doubt that she knew what Dream's true intentions with Miss Monroe were. Where did I go? Where am I? Why did it leave me? Okay. Was that where we at? Okay. Dream's abuse was escalating to the point that it was becoming increasingly difficult to hide it from people, as he was regularly flying into a rage over everything. Dream seemed obsessive over Miss Monroe's alleged lack of gratitude and the fact that she refused to use her small advance to buy him Garland and other friends' gifts. Hire his friend. The fact that she said no to him was simply something that the Dream could not get over. In August 2015, again, Dream told Miss Monroe that he found her a manager named G. Robertson, who was a good friend of his, managed Drake and Nicki Minaj. Miss Monroe was thrilled because she desperately wanted to find a way to put distance between her and Dream while fulfilling her contractual obligations to Contra. She thought that perhaps her new management contract could protect her. Nope. However, things continued to escalate. So Same month, August 2015, Dream told Miss Mango to meet him at the studio. Miss Rangi went to Silent Studios, but Dream did not show up. The following day, Dream texted Miss Mango, "I don't feel like we have the same interests for each other, and I dropped something yesterday and waited on you." Okay. And didn't hear a word. We had a good ride, but truthfully, I can't do it for you, and it's lopsided. Oh, so now he's getting ready to kick it to the curb. Now he's had his way with her. Now he's getting ready to kick it to the curb after she didn't really have the kid for him. Okay, so Miss Mongrel responded that she was there and he never showed up. Manipulation again. Manipulation again. Dream said he was at Redstone Studio and that she should have known to ask which studio and not assumed it was Silent Studios. He then said, please end text. He then said, please end text after this and have whoever else contact me from now on. Thank you and have good night. Alrighty. This guy here. Then continue, don't contact me about anything about this album. If you want to have a respectful conversation with me, I'll let you know when I get the time, but not right now. Dream is foul, man. The Dream is foul for this. So later that evening, Tricky texts she texts Shani that she could come to hang the studio. Shani reported the Tricky, who was a partner of Contra, what Dream had been doing to her. Specifically, she stated that I haven't told you a lot, but I can't take it anymore, and I don't want the music to suffer because we do greater things, but I can't be on this roller coaster ride of threats of ending the project. If I don't please Dream, or if I don't misunderstand something so many times, so many times he has yelled at me for the littlest things. You're a part of Contra Paris too, and I can't take it anymore. Tricky simply responded, "Oh, I'll speak to him." Soon after, Shawnee left the Airbnb where Dream had put her up and booked a hotel room near the airport. She was terrified, but realized she needed to escape the months of fraud and violence she had endured at Dream's hands. Shawnee Go ahead here. Shani confided in Coulter, sharing with her by phone on in August again, that Dream was sexually and emotionally abusive, had been violent with her, and was preventing her from finishing her record. At first, Coulter said that she's a woman that she understood and would take care of Miss Shani. Within the hour, however, Coulter had spoken to Dream and told Miss Mongrose, or Shani, that she needed to figure out a way to work with Dream again, despite being told of the pattern of abuse Miss Mongrose had endured. Miss Mongrose, or Shani, then confided in Mark Stewart, I don't know why his name is like that, Dream's manager, that Dream was sexually and physically abusive, and that it had gotten increasingly worse, and she needed help to get away from him. So Mark seemed genuinely concerned about Ms. Mangrove's safety, but told Ms. Mangrove that if it seemed like a personal problem that he did not want to be involved in, but of course, far from being exclusively a personal issue, Dream's abusive Dream's abuse of Miss Monroe was a part of parcel of his professional persona and his business of producing and writing music. Miss Monroe reincarnated. Excuse me. Let's see, repeated. I think. Okay, so Miss Monroe repeated questions about who was in possession of her music. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, who was in possession of her music, even though. Okay, as her label, Epic should have been able to provide the information. That's the parent company, but being that that's not there, that sucks. That sucks. Just continually asking for what I'm supposed to be getting. That sucks. And you don't know where to go to get it. Miss Monroe did not know where to turn. Irving, her manager, told her that Reed loved the video. Coulter, who worked at Epic, told her that nobody at Epic liked the video, and Dream seemed to be taking great joy at the confusion and chaos it was causing. Miss Monroe pleaded with Contour to arrange a meeting with Reed to explain what happened and figure out how everyone could move around. Reed, who had changed his phone number, was no longer directly reachable. On June 25th, well, this is going backwards now, I guess. Or they're just talking about everybody that basically just rid themselves of contact. Okay. This is pretty much everyone just rid themselves of contact at this point right here. Alrighty. Yeah, this is all the stuff that we pretty much read. This is just yeah, this is pretty much just the same readings. I'm seeing the same dates here. But yeah. So, where are we at here? Oh, there is more. Okay. Down here. Suffering and following Dream's abuse and manipulation. She has not been the same since Dream's abuse and her experience with Contra and Epic. And she believes that the experience broke her as an artist, as a woman. When she finally understood the devastation Dream's actions caused, she lost her passion for music and in life in general. She spent several years nearly leaving her house. When Miss Monroe would try to sing, she would have flashbacks and panic would set in, and then she just could no longer do what she came to do. Her entire life purpose previously. Dream sexual assaults, physical violence, and manipulation weighed on Miss Monroe for almost a decade. Almost a decade, y'all. This is craziness, man. It's pure craziness. This is pure craziness, man. The amount of shit. The amount of shit that this girl got put through at 23 years old. And this man damn near 40. That's one of the sickening parts about it that ain't nobody talking about. But furthermore, as Kendrick said, and as someone said in the chat earlier, this is an industry practice. Y'all all do it. Whether you're married or not, y'all all do it. So, I guess, y'all, there's no peace with this one because the next one we got to do is Kanye West. And I'm just thinking about how this whole centipede, I think if you've ever seen a human centipede, that's what this is. Everybody attached to Diddy's ass. And everybody is getting it now with the sexual assault case. Like, when I have to think about it for real, when I really sit there and think about it, that is what's happening. That is what's happening. It infuriated me, man, to see all this. Yeah, I don't know about Poison, Beyonce and Rihanna, but definitely the way that he used their names is kind of fucked up. Like Sean Kingston used Justin Bieber. That's the crazy part. It's the same tactics that the way he was using Beyonce and Rihanna, that's the same way Sean Kingston was using Justin Bieber's name to buy shit with. It's kind of fucked up. And then, like I said, the biggest icing on the cake for all this is the fact that you did all this shit married. You nasty heathen. You did this shit married. Married, nigga. Married. With a ring. Whole ring. And kids at home. What are you doing? What are you doing? But, again, as I always say, I digress. Because at the end of the day, it's just always going to be like that, I think. Unfortunately, when it comes to Hollywood. Until we step up and do something about it, more and more people are going to be coming in front of y'all. Just remember I said that to y'all. Ahead of time. Okay? Shout out to the Kamiko Show.
$20 million in a car. Girl, tie your hair up if you wanna be a star.
Podcast. I will see you.
30 million people want a shot. How much would it take for you to spread those legs apart? Oh, I'm the gatekeeper. Spread your legs, open up, you could be famous. If you come up anywhere else, I'll erase you. Drink up, bitch, we got champagne by the cases. Don't you know, we are the gatekeepers. Spread your legs, open up, you could be famous. You know we're holding the dreams that you're chasing. You know you're supposed to get drunk and get naked. $20 million in a car. Girl, tie your hair up if you wanna be a star. $30 million people want a shot. How much would it take for you to spread those legs apart? Oh, I'm the gatekeeper. Spread your legs, open up. You could be famous. Wait till 5 years down the road and you're failing. Keep fucking these regular dudes that are nameless. Don't you know that we are the gatekeepers? Spread your legs, open up. You could be famous. Girl, on your knees, don't you know what your place is? Got gold on my dick, girl, don't you wanna taste?
I'm sorry